this is international professional Suraj Singh, author of this video, Building Project Management, a talk regarding project management on buildings worldwide. It's continuation of this serial of talks, and this is my certification as International Professional Engineer, valid till 2020. And then this is my identification as charter member, as fellow member of Institution of Engineers, this country, Bharat. The institution is responsible for registering engineers as international professional engineers as well as professional engineers and corporate members. This corporate membership comes from Royal Charter of Institution of Engineers India that was granted to it by King George V of UK in 1935, and this institution was established in 1920. And since 1935, this has been a body that has been chartered engineer. There has been chartered institutions, and it has been granting chartered engineer status to engineers in this country, and this is applicable to the whole world. This for information, and I'll give a further identification. Namaskar. I'll give some more videos in this connection. Dear friends, this is regarding that, and I'll go back to your further connection. I am patience. Just for those who are new, they must know what I'm talking of, and it is of course very important to understand. There's some plans of buildings here, which was given before. Just I'm repeating it for purpose of references to those. Yes, management requires a lot of work, technicalities, a lot of money management. Management doesn't mean site management, it means design management, it means planning management, it means so many managements within managements. That's the reason I'm just reflecting every time. This one so that public must know, and those who are dealing with buildings must know what is required in field, and don't depend upon others who don't work, who don't want to work on these and just want to simplify certain designs and want that you should just work on that, which is not the case actually. Buildings are professional activities and professional outputs and must be therefore input to the professional. But this is not happening. What is the reason that I'm calling out? You spend money, you are spending money already, but you are not getting results. As I shown always, reverse mismanagement, reverse bad stocking. I told you before. And again, I'm just reflecting that you spend your money. Don't waste your money. Don't drain your money. These laymen builders and laymen engineers and laymen all foremen and whoever call themselves building operators and building managers and building structures, they are wasting your money. Don't allow wastage of money. It is your hard money. If your money is not black or if your money is not robbed one, if you are not robbed from someone, you will care for your money. And if you don't care, it's your problem. If you care, it's fine. It's your money. Ultimately, life earning hard-earned money. I'm just giving you details. And you should ask for all the details from architects as well as from engineers because they're spending money. Well, it's just for information purpose. I have nothing to say about that. Just for information I'm giving you that this is work. This is all work behind scenes. The site is one thing, but behind scenes a lot of activities go on. So regarding results I'm showing you. Have you see this? You can see rubbish storage of steel I showed yesterday as well. This rubbish storage they don't bring the straight bars. So these bars 12 to 14 meters, just bend them, put in truck and dump on sites like this. This is exposed to weather and this gets rain and wet and moisture and soil on that, and you see rusted steel. You see rubbish storage of this steel, and similarly you see steel storage again. This rubbish one, you can see how rubbish it is. Have a close look at this. See, this is storage. You're spoiling your steel, you're spoiling your money. It's an expensive item, and you're throwing like this rubbish. As if this is rubbish, is rags, slag, it is sludge, or is it garbage like that? Is garbage your money? You can think yourself. This is garbage you are spending on building. This is steel, and this is how your storage nonsense it is. So again, I'm saying I'm just talking to modify your work, modify your life, and modify engineering. That is my aim.
Hello, this is Suraj Singh. This is video for construction project management. Construction project management. House. Construction project management. An overview. Not for engineers. It's for engineers and managers. Press forward. Project requirements. This is customers. Customers for modifications. The legal requirements for implementation. Laws. Social needs fulfillment. Project management concept. Project management objectives. Analysis to understand who are involved in civil engineering project management industries. This is part 4, project stages, quality, time, risk factors, risk impacts, risk impacts, procurement, communication, communication continues, then project stages, stages continue, client and owner, charter formation, etc. Implementation, stages part 8, updates, work changes, payment certificates, communications to stakeholders, continuous communication to client, part 10, what areas of knowledge has been referenced project requirements, project initiations, project charter, planning for all stages, execution and monitoring. So what is that? Say like that. Let us see the logo. Thank you.
Yes, my dear friends, yes. I hope you are okay. This is that file again I'm sending you for information. Is that file which I just showed to you. This is available on this Facebook, sorry, on this Facebook URL behind this video and text. And this is page of that file, connections, relations, and URLs. There's another one here, same, the various projections of print on this page. From the file, if you download that file, you'll get this one. And of course, just for your reference, I'm indicating all this to you now. And of course, Have patience, little one hand. Just a minute, please. Just a minute. Patience. And these are my projects, which I shown before. Again, I show you. These are projects that I worked upon during my career. Few of my projects, not all. These are oil refinery projects, means ethylene plant, various views taken from Google. This is process area, non-process area, and give a glimpse also of this once again. This is one. Then I have the other one. The other one is all on ethylene plant. This is LNG. This is LNG. LNG. Seawater basin, which takes water from sea, collects seal for recirculation to various equipments or vessels in process area. This is a circuit diagram for process area. This is another one. This is Baghdad City one building located in Baghdad City near Conference Palace. I was in charge of that for construction of tower in 1982, 83, 82, Baghdad, Iraq. This is near sea, direction of that plant. So I tell the photographs. I am trying to bring as much as possible for references here because it is also very significant, if not that low level, but significant level. You should know what we are doing, right? And I also show you my fellow certification of institutional engineers for reference. This is certificate of fellow membership. This was granted to me in 2016. Yes, 2016. I got this in 2016. Before that, I was member, and before that, I was associate member. I was associate member in 1981, and I got a membership MI in 1986, and I got fellow membership in 2016. So I got all three grades of chartered engineer level and also professional engineer as well as international professional engineers, which evidence my identity. And now I am fellow, with chartered engineer, fellow, FIE, as well as the international of senior IPE. it. This is what I shall, Now we'll continue with our talk as usual in routine, and I'd like to cover it today because a lot has gone and I could not finish it. Let us see now which file it is. Yes, I'll just go through file, that is management file, construction project management. Title is I showing the file there. Now in which we have talked so far, and repetition is there. Titles is projects recruitment reasons. Requirements is project requirements reasons. A brief talk was there. Project management concepts and necessity. Project management, a brief analysis to understand how to integrate project plan with required knowledge areas. Then structure, sequences of project management knowledge area requirements, risk response plan, risk management plan, communication, initiation, project's initial charter constituents, planning, development of project plan, major processes, constituents, within planning, knowledge area integration with development plan, client or owner meeting deadlines to release bid documents, bidder or tenderer meeting deadlines to submit bids, execution or implementation processes, communication channels or processes, involvement by all relevant parties, monitoring and updates continuous process during project life cycle, lessons learned from mistakes and incorrect decisions, completion or and closing and administrative controls. These 16 titles I have used on this document, on this paper, and I have covered many of them till yesterday. And the forward I have written is this paper talks of real project management only. Contents well known to you have been inserted in various parts. Project management applications are well known to all engineers, but presentation is an attempt to refresh reader by a brief deliberation proposition. At end of presentation, one should feel comfortable about precise refreshing of most aspects of project management. Presentation shall be revised further in future if so required. Brainstorming postings are welcome. Now part 1 says, I'm going to parts which I have divided into the various parts of the part 1 stated in this is project requirements, reasons, a brief talk. I already covered this, but subtitles are evaluation of society and development, otherwise marketing demands for all operating unit organizations, business needs of commercial houses, customers requests and modifications, and technological advances in globe, legal requirements for implementation of laws, space, social needs fulfillment. These are seven paragraphs in 7 points in part 1. Now part 2 is project management concepts and necessity. Necessity is there are so many you can say about eight paragraphs are there. Then part 3 is project management, which says objective is project delivery, all deliverables. What do I understand by profession of project management? And I have written here applications, just for your refreshing. Applications of earned knowledge means whatever knowledge you get in field. Applications of earned knowledge enriched with advanced skill organization, environment factors and processes, tools and techniques to deliver specific results or services to client or customer or end user in line with project delivery, all deliverables requirements through route of project management plan, execution and change controls using leading and organizing potentials, all integrated with, and what are main parameters: scope, quality, time, cost, risks, human resources, procurement, communication plans. Once again, I repeat these parameters, which are very significant. Scope, quality, time, cost. Scope is very important to understand what scope this project has got and what we have to do. And quality, time, cost is a triangular management. Means quality must be considered at first at top, then time, and then cost. These three parameters make project management under control. If you don't control this quality, time, and cost, you cannot control the project. This is very simple. If you waste time, you will waste time, means you waste money. If you waste cost, means you waste time, relative wastage of cost. And quality, we don't maintain quality, means you waste time as well as cost, because you have to rework on that. Then risks are in every field: engineering risk, safety risk, human resources risk, and all that. Accidents happen on site. So human resources, and these are many economical risks, project technical risks, non-technical risks. Many risks are there. Profit risk, loss risks. And then procurement, communication plans. Procurement of all resources, not simply material. Procurement of human resources, procurement of technology, procurement of so many issues. Then communication plans, which is also very important. The next one is brief analysis to understand how to integrate project plan with required knowledge areas. These knowledge areas I discussed so far are 8 points above. Now there's some explanation on that. Then who are civil engineering industries? Who are involved in these industries? A list of about 16, 18 is given here. You can take more. Client is there. Then client, a government client, a private government client, a minister that is organization client, and security related projects, and local self-governing bodies, and statutory companies, and government companies, and public-private partners, PPP, so-called non-government organizations, the petrochemical industries, heavy industries, industries of all sorts, and real estates and housing of all sorts, commercial and institutional contracting companies, private companies or entities, and private promoters and private individuals, etc. And then what type of projects are manageable? Government project, and you can say government as a client and award the contractor, government as a promoter, executive self through departments and organizations execution self either for promotion or to meet market demands or to make updates. The organizations working as contractors for all classes and all disciplines. Studies are there, feasibility studies conducted, and then many other field work is so many things are conducted, all given in that. And you go to part four, is the project stages include stages are mentioned there, and these are structure sequences of project management, knowledge areas, requirements, the scope charter. Charter is defined, what should be in the charter is defined, and quality standards to be achieved in deliveries as mentioned, and then time significant factor, chronic project stages, that is also very important factor, and cost affecting all parties involved in the project, that's given there, risk factors are given there, risk impact due to change in scope is given, risk impact due to change in quality standards are given there, risk impact due to change in schedule time is given there, risk impact due to change in cost is given there, risk impact due to partly unknown scope. Risk response plan, risk management plan is then and elaborated of that. Then human resources affecting cost and manpower quality standards, cost element required plans, move in, move out, and motivation, mobility, and procurement, deliveries of material equipment. All these are explained, and then communication has come there. Communication is completely explained there. Then we go to part five, project stages of part include this initiation, planning is in the common for all. Initiation, the complete checks is given on initiation, all points are written in the initiation. Project initiation charter constitutes is given there. Then planning, development of project plans and major processes constituents within planning, knowledge area integration, development plan, complete list and sequences are given there. Then parts is project stages, project include a continued and all same client and order meeting, bidder, tender, etc. is given there. Then you can say technical bid to commercial bids, and then execution implementation is given there. And then you can say, so we will now just hold on to this one from where we continue further in the part 7, project stages, execution and implementation process, client and order, meeting, deadlines to release contract documents through engineer, duly executed legally, and the contract documents, then award of contract is all done. Then we come on to this execution implementation process, which is a contractor, had a contractor baby, and yesterday we were discussing about this, what contract has to do in this. Then communication channel of that. So we had reached to a stage of you can say here we have to restart or continue our work, which was yesterday held here. I don't know where it has gone. Yes, it is there. Yes. Technical bid, commercial bid, we are talking about that. And we have talked of, I'll just repeat what we have talked in this context area. We have just talked in this context area till yesterday. It was bidder or tenderer meeting deadlines to submit bid. It is very significant if you belong to contractor, if you don't belong to contractor company, if you belong even to consultancy company, or if you are self-practice, you must understand each every activity of a contractor has to take, because without understanding this, you cannot manage contractor, you cannot manage yourself, and you see a failure type of situation in your own. So in this is a charter formation process. Charter formation process means it's not charter of consultant, it's not charter of owner, it's charter of contractor, which contractor is looking into what is scope of work and what he expects from this. He has to consider from tender stage, bid stage, means what was bid, he has to reflect informations or reflect, you can say abstracted points from bid and from initiation of bid, or you can say that from that day when he purchased bid documents and he submitted bid documents and they got it or won it, and he has to continue right. Contract is right on his charter formation. All these informations is what it says. My points: charter formation processes plus response to bid documents plus bid may or may not be suitable plus in case unsuitable, denied bid and written documents to client. if so required, and plus in case of suitable respond to client for submitting bid, plus bid coordinator announcement, plus proposal coordinator announcement, plus bid team members, plus announcement in the organization, plus mail circulation to all members, mail electronic mail I'm talking, mail circulation to all members, plus a specific bid folder in intranet sharing server, which in your own server in company organization, plus bid time schedule plan. You have to chart out a plan within which bid is to be submitted, compiled and submitted, and attendance of pre-bid meetings with client and raising doubts on bid and its provisions, plus clarifications on total scope, plus design issues probabilities, plus talks of alternative bids in addition to original demanded, because in every contractor there is a provision given now is on international level that if you do want, you have to submit this bid by according to specification and data is given on this bid, and also you can submit an alternative if you wish so. So that's what this condition covers. And plus site visit with client and engineer if already appointed, reporting visit and meeting details to sponsor or owner of organization and board etc. Various meetings for bid involving estimation manager and complete bid team, and invitation to quotes from relevant vendors as listed, plus invitation to design vendors if EPC contract is there, plus a formulating bids to software use and computation of quantities accurately and rates and formations and comparison of quotes and coordination and negotiation if possible or prospective vendors, and plus coordination with possible subcontractors, plus producing technical bid. And technical bid we defined yesterday as execution statement plus safety. Execution statement means how shall you execute this project. That is a statement. You can say kind of advanced method statements of whole project that is included on bid you can say as a part of bid technical document, that is called execution statement, plus safety, health and environment plans for this project and quality plans and manpower histograms, plus equipment histograms and possible vendors list with options, plus possible suppliers list with options, plus possible designers list with options, plus design statements, plus design hours, plus specialist services, plus documents, plus time schedule, plus camping and lodging and site establishment, plus warehousing, plus laydown area, plus site control, plus site management, plus project manager, plus project leader, plus project team, plus key personal CVs and organizational administrative documents, plus capacity of bidder, previous project records, plus value engineering on project in case bid is awarded, plus statements of lessons learned from records and production commercial bid afterwards. And commercial bidding, I'll explain to them, just let me get this. Plus what I've taken into this consideration to compile this document, commercial is direct cost plus indirect cost plus markups plus additional value to client if awarded, plus balancing bid documents plus amount and conferencing on parallel bidders or rivals and generating their weak points in this bid, plus innovative technologies to be utilized for alternative bid, plus submissions and bid review by sponsors and final documents submission electronically, bid submission in hard copies and soft copies as required. This is what contractors, a bidder has to do as a part of responsibility, as a part of process of bidding. It's not that easy on major mega projects. A lot of work is to be done, and you just cannot simply say two or three papers or five papers, write them and submit. It's a completely professional work. It's called bidding, it's called tendering, and it involves EPC projects as well. EPC means engineering projects and construction, procurement and construction. I'm sorry, EPC and EPIC are the some are construction projects where design is given to you in every respect. That is called construction project. Only bidding of construction for construction, and they are EPC where they are engineering, procurement, and construction means you have to do engineering and procurement of engineering and procurement of everything and construct that after designing and deliver it. This is what I'm talking about. Very important, very significant. Construction bid and EPC bid are like professional engineering completely. It's not simply called contracting. You can say it's not takedari or contracting. It's completely engineering job where everything is involved, every activity is involved, every subject is involved, every discipline is involved, and for which we are talking. It's not that small work, it's big work, and for that you need all levels of professionals, all branches of professional in the organization. If you want to do such debates, and it's like you can say international level bid. It's not ordinary level bid. International companies come here to contest on this, and particularly it happens on mega projects as used to happen in, for example, there's a chemical plant, or for example, there's a refinery, or there's some ethylene plant, or some other plant, alkali plant. There can be anything onshore which requires such kind of bidding, and that is really very interesting because hundreds of staff is involved in design and construction on such projects, and that is very significant knowledge, and you cannot find such talks and such knowledge and such information available in textbooks because such professors are not available who have got such experience in field in professional engineering, and they can talk to you, they can talk to you textbook in relation to syllabus of any whatever program, maybe BTech program or diploma program or MTech program, whatever program. So professional engineering execution and professional engineering experience teaches you as a silent teacher, as a hidden teacher, everything. So let's continue about this discussion, and I'll go on to technical bid because technical bid is very significant document. If your technical bid is defective, you cannot do that. You cannot lead yourself. You cannot convince the public. You cannot convince that client who's a department or the government or a private who is going to award you the contract. If your technical bid doesn't convince that you are a competent person, you're a competent body, you're a competent organization, you may not get a bid even if you want to be lowest one. So the only lowest price is not criteria, it is one of many criteria. Technical bid proves, it indicates, it signs that you are a competent person, you have got consistency in profession, you have consistency in commerce, you have consistency in business, and you are a reliable party, and reliable party means which can deliver safely with service motto and durability. Your acts should be durable, your products should be durable, your services should be durable, and durable means which can take you for long distance for your plans, on your plans. So technical bid, again I am stressing, is very important document. Name itself says without technical bid you are not even qualified that your commercial will be open. That's what technical means, and technical is very significant here. So it, I said, involve execution statement. Once again, I'm telling you, I'll explain execution statement just for a minute, and then safety, health and environment, which is abbreviated as SHE, and then possible vendors means vendor list you have to include which vendors you want to use on this for supplies or materials, and its options means you can use one vendor or other vendor, and if some vendors are included on bid also you can include that, and in addition you can propose your own. And then possible suppliers list with option. Supplier means supplier for materials, for equipment. That list you can include your own in addition to something, some list supplied to you. Then possible designers, wonderful designers on this project of all disciplines, that list must also be included, and as well with options. Plus designs statement, you have to write design statements based on which you are designing, what you are doing, was design procedures, what course you follow and why you follow. All that design statement must speak in a comprehensive manner. I'm not talking you write books on that. You know, you are just the few paragraphs you write on that, but that should be clearly precise and directed. It's not simply speaking, it should be directive. Plus design hours, you have to calculate how many design hours means. If you're an experienced designer, you can know this design, what activities involves, how many designs you have to do, and how many hours your people require. You can give approximately design hours in your build, so that party understands, client understand that you know design hours means you know designs. Plus specialist services document, you have to specialist service documents and time schedule, camping and lodging, etc. Camping and lodging means if there is a camp in desert of your for your company, for your people, that's called camping and desert lodging. Plus site establishments, what site establishments will be there, plus warehousing means storage, etc. Plus lay down all that where you can say garage can be where some cars can stand, that's called lay down, or your scrap metal will stay there, or your old metal, unused metal will stay there. Many items can stay there. That's what's called. It's called camping and lodging, site establishment, warehousing, lay down areas, and site controls. And site controls, you know, every controls at every department, in every department. That's called site control. And site management means who shall manage site, how shall we manage that site. Requirement on this technical bit, and project manager, who shall be project manager, and project leader, and possible team plus key personal CVs, and organization administrative document plus capacity of bidder means capacity, work capacity, financial capacity, every capacity plus previous project controls, project records on you can say you must have some pre-qualification document, standard document which you show all your previous past records and value engineering on project in case bid is awarded, statement of lessons learned from records and production commercial bid. So this document is very strong. In fact, it's up to you how you make presentation of this technical document, which shall be your face and your body structure representing your project that you intend to do. If your technical bid is flawed, is not a speaking one, is not comprehensive, it clearly indicates and shall indicate that you are not clear about project. It should clearly say that you have gone through documents, contract documents, bid documents. You know what is required, you know scope, and you know how to do that scope, how to use resources, how to use resources in a way that you get some profit, not just because you want to do project and lose your money. No client expects that you, being a contractor, lose money, because if you lose money, client is not happy, client doesn't get any benefit of that, and if you get excessive profit also, clients not happy. This is a professional relationship. You are doing business in engineering, in construction, so you should earn, of course, but in some limits you should earn, because you have a liability, you have responsibility, you have warranties, obligations for future, for these structures, whatever you produce. There's a time limit that these structures must stay there in a reliable manner. Reliable manner should be safe and serviceable and durable. That if you are successful in that fashion, you can say that you are expert of that work. Your company is expert, is pragmatic and very well established, so that they can rely upon the organization to do this kind of job. And this bit contains, as I told, complete technicalities. It contains your statement. First of all, you should know what scope you are going to do, and how many questions you raise on that until bid is submitted. That is also very important significant question. If there are, suppose you are every day or other day you are raising many questions to client about clarification of technicalities or contractual issues, they understand then that you are reading, you are going through documents. It doesn't matter, you can write questions if there are some in misinformations, and client shall certainly answer that, and they have to answer it. Otherwise, they cannot close bid, because you are not alone there. There will be other people also, other bidders also, who may have find certain same difficulties who have found as you are. So, how many questions you raise? It indicates that your people are there to read bids, to understand what is required, and they are analyzing each and every provision of bid in relation to money you quote in or you offer to them. The I'll charge this much lump sum, and that is what is required. If you don't analyze all these, if you are a blind person, you are a brainless person, you have no competency and consistency and potential to carry out this job. So why I am stressing this? This technical bid is real bid, and commercial bit comes later on, because if you know to do technical work, you understand that means you have researched properly, you have got complete information from documents, means you understand how to, if job is awarded to you, they have a degree of trust that you are a successful person to do this job, and you shall do this job, you shall deliver requirements till or on or before defined date. So that is what I am stressing in. As I said in this technical bit, this is execution statement. Execution statement must exhibit that in some sequences, that how shall you mobilize site, how shall you demobilize site, and how shall you work in between mobilization stage and demobilization stage. Just for your information, on major contracts, mobilization time is started immediately on date of award of contract. You mobilize or you don't mobilize, that's another issue, but you are expected to mobilize immediately, because once you read contract, you should know that you cannot waste contract time, and if you waste contract time means you waste your time, contract time, and other parties time. That is what is. So executive statement should be strong enough should indicate strongly that you understand this project. How shall you carry out this project? First of all, you have to go and establish your site, establish your establishment where you would sit, where consultants would sit, or will come, or client would sit. They will sit, come to job, supervise job, superintend job, to control your documentations, and this would require everybody to work. And in within 1 month time of date of award, you have to establish your site work, establish your site temporary work. For example, offices, your own offices, clients' offices, and whatever offices are mentioned, you have to establish that on that area, and you have to check which area is best for one on site, and only on that you can do. And how shall you work on between date of you can say completion of mobilization to date of demobilization? You have to start that, and in between you have to work. How shall you work? You have to define what method you will use and design. Method doesn't mean technical method here. Method means your policy of company. How shall you do this job? Shall you spoil site or shall you do work? You have, how many vendors you have? How shall you do? Who will organize what? Where designs comes from and where the items comes from? And shall you not create problem to client? That's also a consideration there. And you have the right resources there. You have the right human resources and machine resources and funding you have and bank you have. All this you have to include in the execution statement part just indicatively. It's not in detail. Then comes safety, health, and environment plans, which is also very, very, very significant data to be provided. Though there are standard plans given in every company and they generally use them, but specifically for certain project, you have to devise that. You cannot simply depend upon your standards available and you can say this is my plan. Every project is different, every site is different, location is different, working nature is different, and scope of work is different. So safety for persons, safety for activities, safety for higher levels, safety for lower levels, safety in hazard areas, safety in chemical storage areas, safety in cement storage areas, safety in all other areas, safety in heat areas where you have to work in open or where you are indoors. Each and every location you have to detail how what is your safety, so that if safety is not maintained on people on site, it shall impact health. And if health is not there, if health is not sound, then it will impact on environment, and environment shall impact of everything. So these are, you can say, major guidelines in safety management of projects. It is safety management, detailed safety management, that all proposals must be given in form of, you can say, small declarations or small statements as well as method statements. For method statements of major activities, considerable activities that add to value of project, and you have to work out. For example, personal protective equipments. I have before also read about this, and I will read again that what is that actually. If I just find the document now, let me see if I get the document. And for your explanation and for additional knowledge should be clearly given. English translation. Let me see if I can bring it out. I don't know if I can bring it out. Fine. I'll try to get it from. Let us see where it can go. So that is also a very important topic, and it must be. It is PDF. I think it's not really proper PDF. It should be. Yao Middle India Town India Town Engineers Association General Chambers Middle Events and Payment. Let me check where it is. I'm missing maybe. Mhm. It is data transfer, the plans, yes, it is here. The plans. No, it's not that. It is management documents. Let me check management documents. Just give it some time. Yes, management. Health insurance is gone. So, yes, management documents. Management documents says book plans. Yes, it is gone. Book HSC procedures. Yeah, I got it. So in this, what I say, it is I have just devised various chapters of safety in certain writing, and that's called a book, which I will discuss later on, put on Facebook also, or on somewhere in a script and link to Facebook. And these chapters are, for example, index. It is index. Now, for index is that index is very big. Let me, I can that. So let us say, safety policy. What is safety policy? You have to declare management system, then site security, then hand tools, then first aid regulations, permit to work, that's called permit to work, housekeeping, safety training, emergency and evacuation plans, fire protection, PPE, which is known as personal protective equipment, excavation safety, control, storage, and use of hazardous materials. Then, yes, incident reporting, then lifting, rigging, and hoisting, radiography operations, night working, scaffolds and ladders, temporary electric supply, welding and cutting, working at height and fall prevention, abrasive wheels, construction environmental control, hazard controls, confined space entry, road safety and vehicle operation, reward system, compressed gas cylinders, heat stress, safe practices, disciplinary and enforcement, safe work, inspection and audits, plants, facility, project, construction safety relevant sketches, safety related sketches, safety related sketches and organization chart, safety related sketches, then definitions. So I'll repeat again because these are so many just for your information. These safety points are safety policy, management system, site security, hand tools, first aid regulations, permit to work, housekeeping, safety training, emergency and evacuation plan, fire protection, PPE, excavation safety, control, storage and use of hazardous materials, incident reporting, lifting, rigging and hoisting, radiography operations, night working, scaffolds and ladders, temporary electric supply, welding and cutting, working at height and fall preventions, abrasive wheels, construction environment control, hazards control, confined space entry, road safety and vehicles operation, reward system, compressed gas cylinders, heat stress, safe practices, disciplinary enforcement, safe working, inspection and audits, plants follow facility project, construction safety relevant sketches, safety related sketches, organization chart, safety related sketches. These chapters we shall study in safety management. I am not doing safety management, this is for reference only. I spoke to you about this because it's a part of project management as well. You can say a part to support project management because project management you are talking safety, of course it is called first, but it has to support all operations. It has to apply all precautionary measures required better than to be applied than taking you can say corrective measures post accidents. Prevention is better than cure. This is a phrase in English and this applies. So what we say, better if you take care prior to going into such accident, that is intellectual, that is better for good health and good management and your own safety, personal safety, site safety and institutional safety and whatever safety is involved. This is the reason I took this just for information. Now we go to safety is over, health and environment plans and quality plans. Yes, quality plans. Quality is not one word, it's a domain. You cannot simply define quality in one sentence. It's not possible. Quality has to be understood properly. And I always stress that quality is no joke. Quality is never a joke. You have to understand it. First, quality is only considered for materials, or it is considered for each and every discipline and topic. We have to understand that very well. ISO 9000 is there, of course it is there, but is it sufficient? That is the question. Do we think that whatever you're following according to ISO 9001 and 2015 latest, does that cover everything? If you think so, that when you follow IS 9000 2015, or as you used to follow in past 2008 and before that, based on your experience, personal experience and industrial experience, have you ever observed that that system worked or not worked, failed or worked successfully? You must have your own experience. I understand very well. I have my own experience. Everybody has got certain experience. Everybody has some less experience. Somebody has more experience. It depends upon what opportunity you got in your profession to do some job. There are some people who never are exposed to field work, and they work in designs, they work in planning, and they work somewhere else where no hard struggle has to be delivered. You have to struggle, only then you can understand. This means I don't expect from a planning engineer or from a design engineer about safety. I don't expect that they know safety very much. They may know fundamentals, they may know something else, but real exposure is learned and earned from field when you work in sun and thunderstorm and you work in heat and cold. Only then you can understand what safety means. Otherwise, you work on computer, there's no need any problem, no problem exists, and you don't even safety shoes while you're working in design office or in planning office or in some other office. Safety, quality are very significant issues. For safety, there is a saying that if you know safety, there is no pain, you know. If you apply safety, if you know safety, what safety is, there shall not be expected any kind of industrial accidents. And if you ignore safety, if you don't care about safety, it is called, if no safety means you know pain. Means if no safety and no safety means you know K and no pain. If you don't understand safety, you don't regard safety, you don't take your own safety in safe position and other safety, certainly you are leading to accidents, fatal or non-fatal. That would be similarly, it applies to quality. I'm going both because both are supporting each other. Both are supporting construction. Both are supporting projects. Projects cannot continue in modern age keeping these two ignorant. If you condone safety and quality, means you condone directly your project, you condone your character, you can ignore your professional responsibility and obligation. So, what does quality do for me and for you and for project? Quality, I'm not talking here about quality control. I'm talking quality. Before also I explained, again I am explaining. So far, first of all, let us be clear. What ISO 9000 says. What it says, do you know? I have seen many videos, many talks of ISO 9000, dissemination information that usually they do from time to time, and they have objected to various companies, various organizations using title ISO 9001, 2008 or 2015 certified. They object to this. They say their charter of ISO 9001 or whatever they are, had no privilege, no right that they can certify someone. They never certify someone. And if they never certify someone, how and on what basis you are writing ISO 9001 certified? This is a mix of information. ISO 9001 is an international standardization body like our Indian Institute here, you can say Manak Bhavan, Indian Standard Institute, Same, this is the international standards institutes. They just standardize, they declare, they announce, they control standards on materials, standards on systems, standards of procedures, etc. Whoever writes that I am ISO 9000 certified, that entity is unclear about ISO 9000. Your certificate is complying with ISO 9000 procedures or requirements, but not certified by ISO 9001, because that body is not certifying body for your company, for your organization. You are certified by certain agent of that company, agent of ISO 9001. They have various approvals for third party, and that is called a company or organizational group who certified you, who registered you on their list, and that is called ISO 9001 compliant certification. If there's a difference, if you write ISO 9001 compliant certification, that is acceptable because you have complied that. But if you just say I'm certified ISO 9001, this is a misleading and abusive statement. But it doesn't matter now because people are not interested in all this. But I am interested. I, first of all, because as a professional, you cannot issue false statements. You cannot issue misleading statements, whatever. You have to research first and then issue statements to public. Otherwise, don't issue any statement. Because you cannot mislead public. Public is paying you for your job. You cannot mislead them. So here, quality, what I'm talking about, is quality of system quality. This means you have many systems working on your sites out of one system, and that is quality system. Your project is under quality system. You got delivery of this project for construction is also a system. Systems exist within systems. So that system must follow its track of requirements if it wants to comply with quality system. And it is assumed that if all systems are followed with or are complied with, your product is expected to be complying with codal requirements. Otherwise, it is astray, means you are in forest and you don't know where is what. Same thing here. If you are even following, you are not able to communicate to those people. You cannot say that you have complied with that. That's what it is. So here is system compliance means whatever you do per system, and that system is not system made by any government, but it's made by you. That system is designed by you, devised by you, and it's declared by you, by your organization. We will do this and approved by your management, and that is you have to follow. You cannot condone that. If you condone that, you are not complying with 9001, and the responsibility goes to top person of company or discipline. It is now not simply left to quality engineer or project engineer or site engineer to handle that responsibility, but it has been shot up to highest level of organizational headship. So there must be quality in systems, which indicates that certainly your material, if you followed all the steps per requirement, your result will be, your delivery will be reliable. But this doesn't happen in field because humans are related. Humans are working together and they are just saying, yes, I have done this, this has been done. Maybe they sign only, even in backdate they sign, which is again malpractice of engineering profession. You cannot sign something you are not witnessed. If you have signed something, this is called another corruption. This is international corruption. If I see something, I audit it, I should see there and immediately dispose it off, or comment on that, or observe on that. So, problem exists that quality systems are going, making up in there. Everybody is saying this is quality, this is our service, we do like this. But at end, you will not find quality compliant product. That is the problem. If I'm in market searching for some quality product, I don't find that because there is storage problem, there is an understanding problem. People don't understand. For the 2 days old or 4 days old or 4 months old, They say it is same, there's no difference. But there's a difference, you know that. So what I intended to say about quality here is quality plans. You have to work out on plans to make that leadable to delivery of quality products from initiation of whatever activity to end of activity, and no activity moves alone in construction line. Activities are parallel as well as activities are linked to each other, chained to each other. So at every stage there must be a quality issue, there is a quality plan, because if quality doesn't exist, you cannot get payment or you cannot use that one, whatever it is made for you, and that is required. So there will be material quality, there must be system quality, and that is called quality. And for that, you have to work out your documents, you work out your forwards, you have to work out everything. You have to work out what is complying or what is non-compliance. If work is non-compliance, you have to take remedial measures. You have to chart out how to correct that incorrect work. This means you have to be very careful on site. You should have all eyes on site work and office work, and inside on site alone on all disciplines. That's important. That's to be continued with. And once you start that, you will be proficient only day by day. So there's a complete documentation of quality plan on every site, and there's a complete document which must prescribe everything, how site, how project engineer will work, how quality engineer will work, how shall they take work from site, and how shall they coordinate with each other, what are method statements to quality. All this must be elaborated and annexed to your consent bid. Then manpower histograms. Yes. Histograms we produce for human resources as well as for equipment, and that depends upon calculations, quantity of work, time given for that, and all to be related. And usually they use cycles at home to bring personal baggages. They may use whatever vehicle, but if you use cycle, I'll be happy. Because it is your local area, shop is there within local area, don't need to taking car or someone. Even you can go by walking, no problem. So this is quality plan. Now manpower histograms, manpower histograms. Manpower histograms, you have to take out whole project duration, and this week or this month, this is requirement according to your work quantity, according to your product, you can output you can achieve from these workforce people. You can say this is our histogram month wise or fortnightly wise or week wise. It's not very difficult issue. Same applies to quality histograms. Both are same. Time management, you have to check, you have to ensure that there is no loss of time during applications and during operations of these equipments. If you save time, fine. If you lose time, people also don't borrow. This I have seen. Possible vendors list. Yes, vendors list. You know all vendors? Each of them know vendors. Now, vendor here doesn't mean small vendor. Vendor doesn't mean you're buying nails and you give vendor for that. No, it's not that. Vendor means those who are giving you heavy items like costly items, expensive items. You're buying bulk items. For example, you are spending crores on the items. Those major suppliers of materials on all activities, all disciplines are to be reflected as annexures on your technical plan, technical document. That is requirement of this. You should know from whom you are going to purchase. If bid defines itself that you have to purchase from out of one of these three, that's fine. If it is not defined, you have to define. That's what it is. Means you have to see cost connection to budget connection. National budget, the cost of material, parliament approved, and then is gone to various places for purpose of implementation. So you have to list out suppliers, vendors on your document. Then possible supplier list with options. Vendor and supplier both have discussed, so we can include that. And possible designers list with options. Yes. When the project pertains to EPC class, means design is involved there, thorough design, full design, absolute design. You are not able to do design in that way. You may know design, I'm not saying that, but you don't have that potential or capacity building designs as a regular designer whose job is whose you can say dedicated job is design. That person shall not help you until that person alives, or you can say stays awake, knows all information received and reads that information. You have to procure, you have to, you can say, you have to include that designers, that design engineer, designing company, which is architectural design, structural design, services design, caring about all designs. You have to take that information from contractor. Of course, so far no, you have not agreed or entered into contract. In the time exists when enter contract, and you may have to leave due to some other reason. Same thing is that you have to write names of designers and their possible researches. That's what is required here. Of course, then it is design statement and design hours. You see, design you cannot expect in one day. It takes time. It's from architectural design to all services designs, and no one person is perfect to give all such designs. You need a team of designs with covering or included all architectural work team, structural work team, services work team, and whatever team is there in that, you have to appreciate that. And you have to include that list into that one. Now, after that, I'm going to we have discussed about specialist services documents, etc., and design hours. Now, specialist services documents. There are electrical services, there are mechanical services, there are electronic services, there are SCADA services, there are many more and more services. You have to consider those services, the scope of those services, and include those wet operators or vendors into your list. That is requirement here. The complete comprehensive statements must be taken regarding equipments, especially equipments, which must be clearly understood by each and every body involved on the project and or bid. Then time schedule. You have to prepare time schedule called bar chart. Time schedule, 2 years project or 3 years project, whatever length of project is, then you have to write all details, and in month wise you will get this, and on month wise you will submit reports also, and goes on like that, and that's called time schedule. Camping and lodging. This is very important. What is camping and lodging? Camping and lodging means just go there, just put some tent and live, or something else. Just think of it. It is something else. What is that something else? Generally, big projects, you can say mega projects, are located in remote areas of a country, desert area or onshore area, or somewhere like off areas where you shall not find any living life. You will find complete forest, deserts, open areas, either complete jungle. You have to establish. You cannot go every day to 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers from your residence. That is not a viable solution for such projects. See, in engineering, if you want to civil engineering projects, you have to sacrifice. Again, I say, don't think that you'll enjoy life. You're a civil engineer. You cannot enjoy life because you have no right to enjoy life. Civil engineer means life itself is a profession. You have to work in civil engineering, otherwise you forget civil engineering, don't be civil engineer. Civil engineering is something else. It is engineering for society. Engineering for those who are entertaining or those who are living this world, for both is important. Right? So I say that camp should be there for staff, for labor, on site or near site where the land is available or is permitted. They have to stay there as living beings, and they have everything there should be for food, for living, for washing clothes, for cleaning here and there. Everything must be included in that. That's called camping and lodging. Then site establishment, similarly you have to establish something on site, and that's called site offices. There will be warehouses, there will be storages, there will be some other equipment required, there's a kitchen, etc. then there's a projection, there's a CCTV, there's a focusing machine. These are all standard topics to be answered. Then come to after camping and lodging and site establishments come to warehousing. Warehousing means storing. You have to store something for a couple of months or couple of years, and for that you need, as required on the submissions or submit statements, technical issues, not otherwise. Technical issues are made there, and you have to follow that. Your site people must follow that, and you must check them from time to time that they are doing good work for your project. A person who spends say 3 4 years on a project is valued. Yeah. Hmm. So warehousing is storage and lay down also called means where you when your machines or equipments are not in use, you park there, you store there, you bring metals and store there, put some storekeeper there, and storing and you can say handling material areas and handling vehicles and handling equipments areas, all that, handling trucks. That is called warehouse, lay down area. Then site controls and then site management. What is site control? Site control is not one word, it is ultimate what you can say. It's not planning control, it's not design control, it is not execution control, it is all controls. If you control site, you have to control from safety point of view, you have to control from execution point of view, you have to control from quality point of view, and you have to control from each and every point of view, even finance is involved in that. Human resources are involved in that. All controls you must apply with and enjoy that. And that is only when you can do it. Mm. Site management. A team on site that works on controls is called site team. It involves project manager or project agent and site engineer and project engineer and other managers and engineers and site staff. All these are site management. There are so many managements with so many people, so many projects. For example, railway here, Metro has one management, is still house running. They will change it. You change it. You can change to show in UP or in Chandigarh. Do it how do it. After this, say site management is over. Lot of that we'll discuss when we detail site management. So site management and project management are something different. Site management means direct work management on site like thanedari and technical work both. Then project manager is head of site and project leader is also an equivalent head of that project. Then capacity of builder you have to build and in automatically build capacity when you are doing all this. All these activities are carrying out on yourself. That result exhibits that you have got some natural point about understanding how shall it work. I don't know. We want to know. I means you both. Then we come to after project manager, project leader, possible. Well, this team are all leaders, project managers. This is all team of site management. Then key personal series. You have many key personnel on site in categories of all services engineers and discipline engineers and project manager and site engineer and analytical labor. Key personnel means those who are controlling, who are managing, in whose are key and out of sight. We can order only just approval is taken before work and there goes to desert. If you have the application, it's fine. That's all. You have to give CV of all these people, whosoever involved who are proposed, like project engineer, like project manager, and up to level of you can say lowest clerk in that office. That how it is called CV controls, and this CV must go to engineer. In any engineer should be out. This should be out. Once CVs are out, submitted to an engineer. These CVs must be approved or rejected. If rejected, that person cannot work on site. If accepted, that person is approved for that project but it's approved to maintenance of your CV. If you don't maintain your CV, don't keep it, somebody will repel it and it is gone. Somebody tried and that is gone. So CVs are very important. Don't take it too lightly. Your CV should demonstrate what you are. It should give all projects that you have done so far. Then organization, administration, documents. Organization, what is your site organizations, company organization, which administration is there, all the must be in writing. And capacity of bidders. What bidder is? Did he work before on same, or he is new one, or he has got experience? All this must be reflected on such documentation papers. Then previous projects controls varies period. Yeah, of course, when you are giving your qualification of as bidder, you have to write all these previous project records. Value engineering on project. Yes, this is where your bid is about it. Value engineering. Value engineering we call this highest voice. It is value engineering. But what value it is, people do know or not know. What is value engineering? How many of you know? Why we call it value? Why don't we call it engineering? When there's a project we have to do it, we are paid and that's it. They say simply, you are going to win a project not by hook or crook, but by your capacity, by your professionalism, by your honesty, and by your determination, and on top of that, by uh, order, by public order, and by petition or engineering case in that court. Value says you. I am giving, for example, I am giving you money. You do this job for me. You say yes, I will do this job for you. But I raise a question to you. You are going to do this job for me and I am paying you money. If I award this job to you or award this job to someone else, what difference shall it make to me? Why should I allow you this job at this cost, at this payment? What specificity you have, or I should consider that a specialty and award this job to you? Because there is so many other people who can do this job. They are equally qualified probably. They are more dedicated than you are. You are not dedicated. You are only talking to yes man supposed to say. You cannot be expected to be a professional. Value says, if I have to do this job, I will do this job in same cost, but I shall give you a bonus as well. Contractor has to give bonus, not in form of money, but bonus in form of saving time, saving cost, and saving quality. If that kind of if quality is fine, don't take it common and all that say your time is saved. For example, time is saved. Time saves means money is saved. And what money is saved means if I make saving to you time wise, if I make saving to you quality wise, maybe I make superior product for you than what you are paying to me. I am delivering this project 1 month in advance, 2 months in advance, so that you can start using this project. Or I am saving your money by giving an alternative method. Or I am giving you a service which no other body can do. For example, I am have different opinion, different technology, different working statement, different working methods. I often do. All such combinations of whatever additional service you provide in same cost is named as value engineering. Once you know value of time, you know value of economy, value of cost, and value of quality. This is all you know. You are super competent, you are expert, and you can be relied upon. That's what it is. So value engineering is this approach. Then we come to uh, organizational administration documents, capacity of builder. Capacity of builder. This is also very important. Value engineering, I have told, you are bidding and everybody is bidding. You have to prove why you are so significant that this job be given to you. You may say about this, I just discussed with you that I was given so many months and 3 months period was not known. That happened or not? Means actually no one wants to work in this weather. So they just you can say a song, some styles. Then we can say, if you have done many projects in past of same nature or a comparable nature, you have a capability to do such jobs in given time and given proficiency, given professionalism. That is what is called capacity building. Means nobody will teach you. Just go outside, read documents, study, and start. That's subscribe. And start rapidly, fastly, very fast, reach destination, and follow up where you have to finish this, hand over this, please hand over this, and all such risks are taken. If you are careful on site, if you are supervising works, there is no question that there should be an accident. Hardly questions. This is called building competency. Then after the jumping to quality value engineering projects, then bid is awarded. That statement comes. That stage comes your bid now. It's your bid. You are now you go and you are a competent leader, competent professional, and you do this job for us. This is bid. Of course, there are lessons learned in past, and you're right in this bit that we did that mistake there, or we did that error there on that side. Right? Because you have to write that. You cannot say that I never made a mistake. If you never made a mistake, it didn't work. Simple. It's not general assurance. There's no made statements and we are happy. There's no. All right. Now we are jumping to commercial bids. Commercial bids. Technical bid has gone. They are happy with you. Yes, guy. Yes, company. We measure you. Under measurement, we found you that you are a competent person to be considered for commercial bid. You submit your commercial bid, or if you are already submitted with technical bid, there's no need for the submission of commercial bid because they know what you are, and they sign for sign for you on third day. They sign for you. Okay. Commercial bid should tell client, owner, I will charge this much money for this. Simple. It's lump sum. I will take this money, X sum, from you to do all this job. That has been defined in scope of work and per compliance to drawings, compliance to standards, compliance to specifications, compliance to codes, compliance to good industrial practices, compliance to what you expected, and compliance to natural requirement and environment and sustainability development, sustainability requirements. That is what commercial bid is all about. It has to cover all warranties of whatever number of years. It has to cover all guarantees. It has to cover each and every accident if happens. That is what is commercial bid. I I can say that maybe my bid is higher than others or lower than others. Don't worry about that. I will negotiate. But question is from how we should do it. What how can you negotiate something which you don't know? You must have experience of that. And based on experience, you prove you're competent. So your commercial bid is calculated, keeping in view each and everything. Means you cannot depend upon quantities as provided by bidder. By client. You cannot depend upon that. You must know quantum of work, quantum of work in all items, in all disciplines that you are going to do to deliver. And it's not easy. There are many disciplines, many buildings, many other specifications, project specifications are there, general specifications are there, and it's like special phase are there. You have to know all the specifications. That's the reason once we never expected that one man can do, but one man doing that. One man are doing here, works, projects, quantities, everything. So commercial bid analysis says direct costs. You know direct costs. You are buying materials, you are buying items, and you are buying, you can say, manpower. You are buying machines. That's all direct costs. And indirect costs. What indirect? For example, those people who are not directly linked to manufacturing investments, they sit on benches and they call them bureaucrats. When we used to call, don't call bureaucrats to some person for a fighter and fight over it, they say, no, we care for this, we need this. So, indirect costs they want to take. Then, generally, indirect costs is human power, staff, managers, which work cannot be measured with. Then, marks of there are so many marks of in tenders, so many informations are available. Then additional value to client if awarded. What happens? Suppose you say, this is my cost coming in, I will give back 2% if I am awarded. This can happen here. So he may say, I will charge it or we have divert money to somewhere else. Hmm. Balancing bid amount, balancing bid amount. Yes. You have worked out quantities, you have worked out funds required for that. Still, you're not confident that you shall get this in competitive environment. Yes, there is competitive environment. You have to do that. How shall you do that? It's up to you. You are sure that you cannot get this sum, then better do something. Think again for 4 5 hours, sitting on your bureau, and know that there is something wrong in my bed. I devised this. I was badly thinking. Okay. Let's go further to balancing bid. Means you have labeled your amount somewhere there. You have just taken off some amount from some element or some building and adjust it so that you make a competitive bidding. Maybe you lose 1% or 2% of your profit, and that doesn't matter if you get profit and more projects. Conferencing no on parallel bidders or rivals. Mhm. See, when you are bidding, you are not alone. There are many more people involved on same project and they are working as you are working. They are talking as they are talking. What happens? Many people raise questions, but some people don't raise at all questions. Some people don't raise at all. And though even though it's wrong, whatever the profession is, but you have to talk to those people who are your rivals. You have to talk about what type of engineer is this, how does it rise, how he would, you can say, delegate responsibility to us. And then you can see how to further level that. And once you consider that these people are getting information on that from this source to that to source, that is all. All right. Now we'll go to generating generating their weak points in this build. Just like it happens in you see in films, then we see what is weakness of this person. So what we say, it is better to get some information about other builders, other promoters in whatever field you work. You will find better solutions. Nowhere applicable except in Gulf and that too in some areas. Right now, innovative technologies to be utilized for alternative bid. Alternative bid is very big topic. Means you got documents for original bid, but you are not happy with that. You have stamina, your mind. You want to think, you want to contemplate, you want to do hard work, you want to do research work, you want to do everything on that, and you produce after concurrence of your project engineers, your design engineers, your field engineers, your experience of foremen, your labor even, that you can do a better management on a better alternative, which is better than this, and you can make money for client, you can save money for yourself, and you can set an example that this is not set which was 20 years old, now I can do better than that, and you prove it and you price that price should be lesser than original price. If you can do that, you will accept this, no problem, it works as far as it works. It must work according to the equal efficiency or higher efficiency that is involved in that. So that is called an alternative bid. If you submit an alternative bid, it is accepted provided it should have strength. Bid review by sponsors. Yes. When you submit bid to client, their client engineers shall go through this, their staff shall go through this, their government department shall go through this, all shall go through this to understand what is this. Final document submission electronically. Bid submissions, hard copies and soft copies are required. Yes, there are certain conditions in every bid. What they say, they have to demand about your bids. You have to comply with that. That's very important. If you don't comply with that, they will reject your bid. This happens. If they reject your bids, it's not acceptable at all. So you have to comply with each and every conditions. And if you don't want to comply, you have to take their permission that there's some grant some exemptions or grant this concession because it's not practically feasible to submit so many documents in hard copy. I have seen some bid, there was at least one trunk box documents. For example, there's a big table, working table, and whole are fixed with some documents of hard copies, and it was such a big containment that you have to take two of the trolleys with you to submit that big. If you want to consider content, this one is the wastage of paper, and this is going to throw in an against the environment, and we just submit soft copy and some simplified pages. If you accept, that's fine. If there's no problem, you do it. Otherwise, leave it. Means you have to comply with that. If you cannot go against conditions as well. But if client says no, we want that only, then you have to do your work. Right? It's that. So final documents what should be done is submission electronically, the fine bid submission, hard copies and soft copies are required. So we have gone through that part 6 and that was about this. Now come to project stages and project inclusions. I again said I'll read for you this one for every part, and that is initiation, planning, execution or implementation, monitoring and updates, completion or closing, and administrative controls followed by maintenance. Execution or implementation are also affected by both parts. Client or owner and contractor both undertake certain processes directly or indirectly, right, to meet scope of contract requirements. Execution or implementation processes. So now we have covered bids, we have covered engineer, we have covered this. Now we are coming for site work, and that's called execution or practical work or implementation work. Client or owner. This implementation now we are talking. Meeting deadlines to release contract document. This is client or owner would do, right? So far we read this. You got update on this? No. Okay, I'll send you. So what we should do? I'll read first of all. Award of contract declaration is page number 20. 20. Oh my god, 10 minutes more. Award of contract declaration by appointment. This is one part. Award of contract declaration by appointment. Then issuing letter of intent. This we are talking what engineer would do, what owner would do, what client would do. So award of contract declaration means if they accept your bid, they have to award you. For that they shall make some declaration, and that is by appointment. Issuing letter of intent, right? They will issue that. Definition of contract dates. They will define what contract dates are, means date of commencement and date of completion, because a period of duration of contract is given in some table, in some form, and from date of start they will add those number of days and will reach date of contract completion. So this is simply that. Adjustment of prices in agreement with contractor. Adjustment of prices. It's again confusing what adjustment you are talking of. Actually, what happens? They never change price, but they ask you, this is your amount you ask for lump sum and we'll pay you. But there are some discrepancies, there are some errors in your bill of quantities you submitted. Some rates are different. How it can be possible that rate in here in one item is X amount and in that same item is minus 3X? That remains a question. So I say that your amount cannot be changed, but there can be clerical adjustment. For example, you can change some amount in 560, you can say 560 plus 0 plus 12 is 0. This is not acceptable. It should be realistic. You cannot do that. So definition of contract dates have come back. Now definition and extent of liquidated damages. Yes. Definition and extent of liquidated damages and adjustment of prices in agreement with contractors plus contract amount or price. See, this is complete confusing and very complicated and professional. Plus and plus and plus. Let us read first and we will start talking then. I said that definition and extent of liquidated damages, then adjustment of prices in agreement with contractor, and then contract amount or price, announcement of engineer designation or designated as contractual, then definition of powers and authorities of engineer, and announcement of all specialist engineers. In case engineer is from client engineering department, announcement of consulting engineers and date of kick-off meeting and date by which all contract documents to be issued and appointed contract documents to be issued, appointment of date of site handover to contractor, dates by which remaining scope drawing to be issued in case of a construction contract, final time schedule requirements for initial presentation, and priorities list of certain project areas, and dates by which other project plans are required, and dates by which design documents are required, and requirements of mobilization plans and requirement of execution method statement and requirement of engineer's office location in contractors premises to surveillance and monitor contractor design team and requirements of performance bond from which performance bond from contractor, requirement of third party insurance, and requirement of documents for release of any contractual permitted advance sum against bank surety. Now, there are sequence of activities in every stage from issue of award letter and to all other contractual formalities and everything here. Now, let us go one by one because this is in relation to execution or administration of contract. That contracts have been awarded to certain company or organization by client, and client expects reliable performance from that party, and if reliable performance is not attainable or deliverable, then client shall have a right to rethink about your appointment as contractor, and that is a very important factor. You cannot simply say that I am I'm client, I think this contract is nothing. In this contract must add the EPC sign area, everyone is responsible. Client is responsible to its situation, deliver to other while different institutions are here. This is the idea. So let's go to award of contract. I have awarded contract. I am an engineer. I awarded contract. I am an owner. I awarded contract. Yes, I have told you. This is your contract. You are the contract of this. This is the conditions. I am giving a letter. This is the name of my engineer. You start this step by with this. This is the date of sales completion. And immediately started. And this is duty of the engineer. He shall take care of this like this. I have completely described job description. And I have told you this is engineer, and there will be another person who is working for this engineer, and that's what you have to do. And you got leave letter. Your date starts from this date. And if you miss your date, you are responsible. Not engineer and not client. You are appointed. Start. This is called letter of intent issued to you. Dates are there, definition there, and liquidated damages, which is very important point of view. Liquidated damages you should understand before going further. It's question of money. And you are doing contract for money, not for pleasure, not for fun. You are a businessman. You are not here to lose money. You are here to gain money and a reputation. If you lose money, why should you? Why what more funny? It's not question of 1 rupee or 2 rupee or $1, $2. It's question of crores and billions. So you have to walk properly. Otherwise, you know what will happen? You'll go to pit, right? You have to walk right. You have to walk in the right direction, with right potential. That's what you have to do. I say this project of 2 years, 2 years. You have to finish it. Not only finish it, hand over to me. And what does handover mean? Handover means there may be considered 1 month or 2 month period before date of completion. Date of completion means practical completion or mechanical completion. And what is practical or mechanical completion? It is that completion on which physical activities on site must stop. That is called completion, practical completion. If on date of practical completion, you are working on site on many activities, this means you require for extension or you force me to write to someone that you should close this site due to it is already 6 o'clock. This doesn't happen. You have to produce in 2 years physically complete project and commissioning period you have to include in that, because if 1 month commissioning period is there or a 2 month commissioning period is there, you have to prove for those 1 month or 2 months that your machines are operating, your services are done, your project is working. It may be mechanical project, it may be some other project. They're all working according to project requirement, project designs, and according to specification and industrial standards that must match with this project. And it's for all disciplines, not only for mechanical, it's for civil as well, that you have to complete this activity in this period of 2 years. You have to think, can you? Project is 2 years away. You finished. How I know I should have complete? Now what you are engineer? You are engineer then. You have to think, it's your job. You cannot say like this. No, you cannot do like this. You have to make sure by your own calculations, by your own quantity surveying, by own anticipation, by your culture of working, by your elements of workforce you use on each activity, that you need so many man hours. And if you need more man hours, you have to take permission. And if you don't have permission, you know what result is. So you have to complete all this before lapse of 2 years. There is a condition prescribed between by and between agreement of both parties, owner, employer, and contractor, that if I will do this on 30th, I shall pay you such amount as a recovery. What does it mean? Suppose at any stage, according to schedule provided to us or worked out by us, I am not able to deliver some of items to vendor. But also when suppose my father has left his organization, but his work is still going on. Contract is bound. You cannot say not bound. There is a delay of 3 months, 4 months, say in between, or there is such delay which cannot be recovered. See, liquidated damages are those damages which are a kind of agreement between both parties, and employer and contractor, that if you are not able to do this, you have to pay me this much. You have to pay me per day this much, or per month this much, or per week this much. Generally, it is per day. You have to pay per day this much, and contractor asks that if there is a problem, fail this on this account, we will recover this much. These are both recoveries. But is this happening? They are all exploiting foreigners, expatriates in Gulf. Still going on. Like you are delayed by 1 month or by 2 months, 60 days, and per day penalty is something. What engineer should do? If engineer contemplates that you cannot recover it, and what as a contractor you shall do? You shall only cry, nothing else, because you know how to cry. Is there not even a single person, single professional who can understand this headache? If this professional understands this headache will be over. LD is impossible, of course, under notification. It cannot be said no, but duty lies on to both employer and contractor. Of course, if you can complete this work in time, this LD can be recovered back. Of course, no interest will be made to you, but money will come back to you. And if you cannot achieve this, this will be confiscated, just remember. And there's a cap on that, and that is 10% in civil works and maybe 15% mechanical work or other work. That cap cannot be changed because you cannot recover unlimited from any project. Maximum profit is counted 10%. You can just hold profit and that's it. If it doesn't work even then there is no option just to bring another party at risk and cost of this contractor. That is the requirement. Because this contractor did everything, he will design his something. Now why is something going on? They have to claim payment. This person wants to go. That's not required. Anyhow, this is what liquidated damages is. Adjustment of prices, I told you already, it's done. Contract amount or price that is already there. Announcement of engineer, yes, that is always there, it's done on the letter of intent itself is announced. Definition of power and authorities of engineers, yes, that is important. Every project and every employer has different thoughts. Somebody gives full autonomy to engineers on contract and somebody doesn't. But my suggestion is that engineers should be fully empowered for project to ensure that project moves fast. Otherwise, people convert to laziness to a state that who should go to sun, why should I go to office, 42 degrees, that and that. And that is what we are losing now. We are not having energies with us. So we must define powers of engineers that this engineer has got absolutely full power on this contract, subject to a condition that lump sum amount cannot be altered, and subject to this condition that contract scope cannot be altered, and subject to this condition date of completion cannot be altered. These three conditions and few more can be held responsible this engineer. Otherwise, this engineer had an excellent time, excellent opportunity to work on this project and get benefit. We have described engineers' responsibilities and announcement of all specialist engineers have been announced. Resident engineer has been announced, and what happens sometimes that engineer comes from government itself if it's a government project. In that case, that engineer is not expert on everything. This government engineer, where seniority is more important than good report. Then it comes to appointment of engineers, and then engineering departments are established. After that, announcement of consulting engineers come. Here, consulting engineer needs a person to work on site in place of engineer because engineer remains too busy. So that consulting engineer shall work for him in same capacity as resident engineer. So after all this is over, we have got complete feedback. We have to fix a date on site, and for that, engineer has to call a meeting, and that's called kick-off meeting. We have to kick off that of start project, and that meeting we have to discuss in that meeting about initial issues such as where we are going to establish our office, how many people we are bringing urgently at this stage, and after how many days shall we do that, and what betterment we have still we have modified this site in the last 1 or 2 years, and we have brought chawal or rice to this site. with whatever hairs. This is all required. Do it. Mm. Kickoff has done. You have started project. Then you have to see there are third party insurances, project bonds, performance bonds, and how these are related to. Then you have to submit documents like shop drawings, you have to submit like working drawings, you have to submit method statements, you have to submit designs, you have to submit quality methods, you have to submit all these methods. These must be made ready and as per these instructions in your kickback meeting. You have to they have to ask you many questions. You have to fix their dates and comply with all that. Otherwise, you shall lose personality. Right? Then appointment of date of site handover. Well, that is already there in schedule. And dates by which remaining scope of date of site handover to contractor. Dates by which remaining scope drawing to be all this all shop thing working or discussed will not there. Dates by which project plans are required. Well, means you have to completely chart out in that what you're going to do. And when you need design documents, requirements of mobilization plan, requirements of execution method statements, all that is already discussed and you are going to perform yourself. Now let's go to execution and implementation process. Contractor, that was for engineer, which we said before. Now we are doing for contractor. How shall contractor execute that from contracting point of view? We are going to discuss in this talk here on page 21, in this page 21, and it's nearly I think 10 minutes to 2 hours, no problem. Still I'm fresh. I'm taking water just to keep myself cool. Goes to put tea. I don't have tea here at this moment. No problem. We'll take later on. I cannot disturb video. They go to make tea. No. Sorry for disturbing again. I'm taking water. My dear contractor, you are very important because you are contractor. Without contractor, I'm not representing contractors, I'm defining. Without contractor, project cannot move. And don't consider contractor as is considered in Bharat, our great country. They think contractor is slave. That is problem of our management, of our government. Here, contractor is considered chore. Contractor is considered cheat. This is a problem. Contractor is a professional. We should understand that. Contractor is not dukan, not shop. It's a management. Just like engineer cannot work without labor, without worker, without machine. No project can be completed without contractor because there is no government in world which can work on itself on projects. There is no department anywhere which can work on itself. You try yourself. I challenge. There are lakhs of engineers in Bharat and there are lakhs of engineers everywhere. What these engineers are doing, they themselves don't know. In government, go to any department, whatever department, CPWD, PWD, or other departments, in any companies you go, and you will find inefficient engineers. You will find such engineers who don't know anything, who only wear good clothes, this and that, sit in the air-conditioned office, don't come to work and issue documents and all that. And then they say, you are a contractor. You try. You do work in departments. By department spend, you have money, you have manpower, you procure manpower, procure material and do job. And you see how can you do it. You cannot stand in sun for 2 hours. You may be chief engineer, you may be whatever you are, you may be director. You are start pasina, sweating will start coming in. Oh, you will say like that. Why you are calling contractor? Don't call them, leave them, let them go to hell. Do yourself. You are getting salaries, fat salaries you are getting. Why don't you do it? What reason lies? Are you not educated in engineering? Are you having no experiences? Why are you wasting public money on appointing contractors? If you call them thief, if you call them inefficient, if you call them crooked, why do you depend upon such people? Do yourself stand and son. Be your civil engineers, your mechanical engineers, your electrical engineers. People are paying you. Government is paying you. State is paying you. What you are doing? Just driving cars. That's it. Going to hotels for meetings, drinking whiskey. This is your job. And then you blaming others. You cannot do something and you blame others who want to do something or can do something. Only country where contractors are not respected. Go to all other countries which are really countries. They are valued. They are given equal value. Go to FIDIC document and see what contractor is. Contractor engineer at same level. No difference. You have your right, I have my right. You have your responsibility, I have my responsibility. Your job is my job. You are not doing any ahsan on me or obligation on me. I am working for you, you are giving me money, and that's the relation, nothing else. It's a professional working relation. I am expert on my field, you are expert on your field. This is difference. I'm not your slave, and you are not my master. Until we understand like that, we cannot say we are managing projects. Here, contractor is not doing good because you are not good. I have seen many projects, engineers don't even attend sites. Government engineers, they don't go to sites and they go just as if they are guests there. Why this? Why this? Go and stand on site. If you are chief engineer, what's there? What there? Go and stand day and night. You cannot do that because you are royal. If you feel bad, I don't care. I am telling you facts of life. What? Why don't you do yourself? Why you are wasting profit of a contractor? And then you are abusing contractors. You are taking commissions from him. You are taking undue benefits from him. And then they are blaming you. You made him like that. That he is cheating you. And first you are cheating your nation. He is a businessman. He has to make profit. Just like you are taking salary. Even if there is loss in your government, you are getting salary. You don't care for loss. Because you are not directly responsible for that. If there's a budget problem, it's not your problem. I give you my salary, I'm interested in my salary. I don't care if there's a deficit budget. Who is responsible for that? That's what I'm saying. First, measure your value, measure your potential. You are engineer only by certification, nothing else. I have many experiences in life. I have seen government engineers who are deployed somewhere in government in services outside this country and they failed. They may be from IITs, they may be from any top institute, I don't care. Because institution doesn't make an engineer. Institution just issues certification, nothing else. Topper doesn't mean remain topper all time. Topper is a comparison, nothing else. Engineer makes himself in sun, in wind, in high temperature, in cold temperature, wearing bad clothes, doesn't have food sometime, doesn't sleep properly. Engineer made by that conditions, not by having enjoying with family, staying here, going to guests, going to marriages, going to party, going to society, going to offices, going to this, going to that, enjoying life, and just I'm engineer. Engineer who uses mind. Engineer itself means that you are a genius, engine, but you are not genius. You are enjoyer of life. Engineer means a person who transforms a forest into a beautiful city. That is called engineer. But you are destroying a beautiful city to a ruined city. This is happening. There is not only one engineer, combination of engineers I am talking. Just for example, let us take environment. Who is responsible in the world to spoil environment? Is it public? Or is it government, or is it who? I would say first is engineer, because he produced big cars, he produced use of petrol, and he produced excessive use of that. 35 crore to 40 crore cars and vehicles work every day in our country, and 12 crore motorcycles work every day. From where this money comes? And you have to buy petrol and diesel for these. from where this material comes, who is feeding this, and who is taking care of this when this fuel, this smoke goes to environment and air. Is there someone to look after that? There is no someone to look after that. They say God will take care. God is your father's servant or your servant. I don't understand. You are wasting everything. It is not job of engineer to waste. Engineer has to preserve natural materials. This is basic and fundamental engineering. You have to make use of natural resources, natural materials to best use and not to best abuse. We have best abused this material, which is bad fortune, which is bad engineering, which is negative engineering. You are not supporting God, you are doing against God. You abuse wood, you abuse timber, you abuse water, you abuse petrol, you abuse steel, you abuse everything, you abuse rubber. You have spoiled environment and brought it to a status from where it is like impossible to recover it to previous state of existence. So what you have done? You have supported God, you have unsupported God. You have to decide yourself. I'm not going to do more criticism. This was my point that I said this happens means happens. I don't know why I diverted this, but I will go back to my previous talk. So contractor is a person who is reliable for this project to execute. This means first he receives contract award as engineer awards. This is definitely the procedure I'm just telling. Receipt of contract award, then inspection and review of all contract documents. I'm just reading it further for submission, and then we'll discuss what I'm talking about. Receipt of contract award, inspection and review of all contract documents, kick-off meeting, announcement of project reference, authorizing project budget, authorizing project manager, constitution of project team, cost control codes circulation, project development plan drafting, meeting with engineer or consultants to discussing strategy planning, site visits, site takeover, appointment of contract start date, proposal for various vendors, subcontractors, submission of proposed key personnel to engineer, consultant for approval, mobilization plan submission, site survey, site soil investigation for validation of soil investigation reports, provision of all site offices, provision of all facilities, site fencing, site watch and ward, site fire prevention, labor shelters, labor camping, transportation, food, medical provisions, safety provisions, submission of safety plan, submissions of quality plan, submissions of project management plan, various submissions methods or procedures with engineers consultant. This is what on the nutshell. On gross management, after getting award of a contract, contractor and contractors management is required at a minimum level this much to do so that project is moved from its original date to a completion date, keeping everything moving smoothly, gradually, in line to schedule or time scale we call it, complying with all project detailings, all plans, all designs, all details, and complying with required specification of a project and journal and portals, and giving quality work, safe work, and leading to completion along with earning, you can say, value engineering. This is what is required by an engineer or by a government from a contractor. So let us discuss counter and say deliberations on this issue, that is receipt of contract award. We just discussed in engineer's role that engineer issues a letter of intent to contractor, and here is correlation that you get letter of intent from that, or an appointment letter that you are a contractor. This is your engineer. It is his name. This is your responsibility. We will do for you. He will be available for you to assist you, to support you, and that is here we get letter. Same letter is coming to us, and we are now occupied with work. Maybe we be happy, that's something else. Then we got with this letter. When we get this letter, we shall go to that office, to engineer's office or department for a test, and request them to give all documents that we submitted. We submitted bid documents, and we submitted to them tender documents, and we say, please give us all this, because we want to see what we submitted. Of course, we have just for a review purpose, for reflection purpose, we want to visit back what we did on this bid. We want, because the original documents are with there, maybe there's some correction, something. We collect from them based on this letter all a package of our documents. But those documents are bid documents, be careful. It's not simply bid documents, we have to collect. These bid documents we have, we will get a copy of this, as well as we will have a copy of these same documents converted to contract documents. Now, there's another reason. There's a bid time, we submitted bid. There could be many changes after that. Could be many changes. There could be many notifications, many circulars, many instructions, many things coming in. And by the time we get this contract awarded, there could be further changes in specifications. There could be something, there could be changes in drawing, or which we both agreed or not agreed, or during our questions. Everything should constitute part of contract. Means your tender bid documents as well as all operating documents during communications must be included as contract documents, and we should get a date of that contract documents delivery. It may be with contract execution or separately, and these documents they'll come after 15 days or come after 1 month. You take this bid document and we'll give you those contract documents on the date, and they get tender. If we get both documents and say it's nice, very good. But it generally doesn't happen. We get back our documents or some of documents, they say next day or next month or so you come and correct all the documents, and that is very important for us, because first of all we forgot what we did. It was 6 months back or some, this is 1 year back, and those staff who prepared on those documents, those engineers, those managers, and those tender bond and those tender estimators and all those, they must have left, or they must be on some other project, they be somewhere else. I forgot what I did in that, so I want to refresh. Means what I did. There must be some budget, there must be details, there must be one serving on that, there must be design effect on that, there must be any noting on that, there is some procedures on that, there must be some schedule on that. Everything we have to see. They make you a soft copy, they make you a hard copy, whatever copy we got to come back and visit on that, and we spend some few weeks on that. Every one a special engineer, one project engineer, one project manager, or whatever it is, he must be dedicatedly there available to see at least what we did on that, because it's a question of billions or millions or trillions, whatever contract is. There is 1.5 billion US dollar or 1 billion US dollar or half billion US dollar, whatever is a big question of 2 years you have to spend this, and you don't want to miss something. So whatever plan you have to submit, there's another question that on date I get today this appointment letter, and it's my duty to submit is 14 days. My original plan to them, this is my time schedule. I have to finish. This is my plan. This is my level 1 plan. Because the master schedule chart. This is that I start today and I finish. This is 14 days and 2 weeks of date of delivery of that letter of communication, letter of intent. I have to submit my plan to them, and that can be submitted only when I really know what I have to do as a contractor. So I need my bid doc. I have to make haste on that. I have to be very expedient on that and get those documents just to refresh at least. We should know what we are going to do. I'm not saying every case, but at least we have to submit something. So we have to submit in 2 weeks are not very big period in such a big project. Means you have to study all the specifications, you have to study all drawings, and you have to analyze all items, all constant. There will be 50 components of project, and we have to see each component what it carries. There will be symmetrical components, there are dissimilar components. Whatever is there, you have to see what type of buildings are there, what type of roads are there, what type of structures are there. If it's an oil project, what type of structures there, what type of process tanks are there. It depends upon the if one man is required to analyze that, or 2 men required, 2 engineers, or 3 engineers, or 4 engineers, electrical engineer, mechanical, so all are required there. So let's sit together and work out that as a collaborative team, as a integrated team, and then we have to understand what you are going to do, and based on that we have to mobilize, because mobilization is also required immediately. Mobilization doesn't mean all people should go immediately. Some people do start camping of that site, offices, settlement of that. So see that site, how can you proceed further? Where can we establish our labor camp? Where can we establish staff camp? Or where we can hire some already existing accommodations? It depends on what condition we got in contact or what generally happens in that area. It depends on the desert area or city areas. And in city areas, it's not possible to establish your own camps. So you still have to hire some buildings or this building, and you will pay them. But in desert areas or area where there's no city at all, we have to consider our own camps. We have to get allotment of land from municipality or somewhere else. That's called the accordingly to produce this all license work. It takes time to move, have too much movement to and fro here, and every day you have to go to that side. There's a 400 kilometers, so you have to go there, sit for hotel or somewhere else, and you have to start out that. And it's cumbersome exercise, it's not fruitful exercise, but it's initial exercise to start something. You have to do it, and very difficult headache, and but it has to be done. So that period is very small, and you have to mobilize. At least you have to move one or two team of two crews there immediately to ensure all this, so that your life of project starts. If you are able to successfully submit your first plan in 14 days, because immediately when you talk to them before submitting planning, they will call you for a meeting. Engineer will call you for a meeting and come on this kick-off meeting on this project, and you have to go there with some propositions, with you something, and at least you have to make sure you have to establish that you know something about the project. And then some start. They will say, okay, you are fine. You start moving this, mobilize this. Say, okay, they will approve this location of your office is fine. You can simply take it with you something. Okay, this is my office location. This is site. Here is my office. Here we want to make them. Here we want to make our office. Here we want to make our layout area. Here we want to park our vehicles. Here we want to do this. Here we want to take water services from here and electric services from there. All this we can always put our temperature. This all we have to explain to them on some paper, and they will just say services, existing services should be taken care of, and roads should be taken care of. There should be no place at all. Like this we have to do, and it's a professional actual work, and then it's not something who will tell you. You think your own way. You have to. This is what engineering is requirements. You have to apply engineering knowledge here. You have to apply the practical knowledge here. You have to apply common sense here. And based on that, I'm saying you're not alone. You're part of team, but you have to lead team, or you have to be led. The same thing. Everybody leads himself, and you lead others. This is general team. They all are educated people. There's no working class people. They're all executive people or professionals there. Maybe 2, 3, 4 professionals in every team. They can think over. When you can think over, you can find solutions. And the same thing happens with engineers. There are so many educated people like you are, so they are equal partners, and they both are interested in project, and both are engineer think the project should be completed. You think but the aim is same. Two teams are coming in the same path. You have to agree path first out what we want to go, and that's it. So we do that. Mobilization is important, and submission of plan is important. And when we are sure that plan is okay, that bar chart is okay, or this the PUT chart is okay, but or we have common sense is okay. We can do this. Engineer is sure that you can do this. There's no friction between two, no difference of opinion between two. We can move further gradually, step by step, and make it decision. But we have to concentrate on that. You cannot just go to their one site one day and come back and rest for 15 days and sleep and go to have leave. It's not possible. Once you start, it means you have to establish yourself there. Whatever problems you have, you're just there. You have to cancel your vacation, you have to cancel whatever it is. Means you have, starting is very difficult. People say running vehicle can be run by another driver, but a vehicle which is normally is very difficult to start. Same thing happens to project. You have to start project positively with concentration, good spirit. Only then you can be successful. Hard work you have to do, smart work you have to do, mental exercise you have to do, physical exercise you have to do, and financial exercise you have to do. You have to do interdepartmental meetings, you have to do internet meetings, you have to do external meetings, you have to do meeting with vendors, we have to do meeting with suppliers, we have to do meeting with all specialists, designers, we have to do meeting with our own people, you have to be writing method statements, you have to write statements, you have to confer with all management people, you have to confer procurement people, you have to do so many activities there before doing all this, and that is what is called collaboration. That is what is called seminal, or you can say seminar of company, or you can say management of company. That is where we people are. Okay, so we just move further over this excessive description, not further. Then inspection or review of docs. So we have done inspection of contact documents by collecting this from the package from kickoff meeting. We have conducted announcement of project references. We have to announce references means in form of management, in form of, you can say, these are document. The reference means this is This letter has to be announced to company management, company people. This letter of intent has come out, this contract has come out, these documents have come. We're starting this project, and this is a project manager of this. We're authorizing project budget. This is a budget for this. This was taken during care of. This taken care of during preparation of this bid, and there's this budget in the form of bar chart that the activities is taken care of, and these are total funds. But these funds cannot be released to site, and these details cannot be released to site. This will stay with only project manager, and the secret document, and we have to work within this budget and within the scope of work. That's an announcement made as a corporate charter. You can institute charter of your company, and authorizing project budget. You authorize and authorizing project manager. You have to appoint project manager soon, so the project manager will take care of that project. Then the representative of, you can say, company, representative of corporate office on project site. So constitution of project team, then the project managers in combination of consultancy project manager, you have to constitute a construction manager, or a project engineer, project manager, and the project manager, or site project manager, or site agent. You have the site engineers or superintending engineers, whatever engineers are required there, and then you have the site executives and foremen, all that major team which will available, which is a team of all disciplines and designs and site works and coordination and engineering, also team, administration, and procurement team on site. All that will be decided and announced the constitution. And this series of these representative people, experts, will be sent to client or engineer for purpose of approval and references. And then cost control code circulation. Cost control code circulation, very important, which comes under cost control management and the planning management. Planning, we have sent this budget, we worked on, and we have sent this estimate, we worked on during tendering. This goes to cost management, cost control department. They allots their work breakdown structures and relevant cost circulation, so that these costs shall be used for counting money or for referencing money. This money spent against this head is this code, and that's what is given. And this is permanent until project continues. As you can say, it's WBS, which is work breakdown structure, and supports are provided to that. And when you make purchase orders from site or from head office or somewhere else, you have to use those codes in those items, because these codes are easy and difficult both, but these have to be written by site manager on requisition slips, and this must be whatever expenses made on that are posted against those codes, so that you know what budget was there and how much you already spent and where we lapsed. Then project development plan drafting. Project development. I will discuss the project development plan, how to do it first. So meeting with engineer consultants to discuss strategic planning. Already discussed. You kick off meeting and we discuss some issues. Then site visits. Yes, before mobilization. Mobilization can be done. Mobilization and site visits. Site visits is the pre-mobilization stage, and you have to meet with consultant, engineer, or client, and see to do discuss with confirm start mobilization. And we have to make mobilization plan and hand over to them. We will follow and comply with the mobilization plan and complete mobilization. And site takeover, and site takeover must be this mobilization plan, site takeover parallel process, sequential process. We have to take over site, fence it, and do whatever. The fencing it is on the mobilization part, and we do this, protect site from each and every interference intervention. That's what we do. And the pre-appointment of contractual start date. And because already we got letter of award, and that's what the start date is mentioned in that, and that's whether we go on site, we don't go on site, we waste time, but that date continues to be counted upon. First day has already gone, we got the letter. Second, now they may mention this is first day of project, they will write on that first day of project is this one, and we have to check that, and accordingly we have to comply and do that. Proposals for various vendors and subcontractors. Already we have produced names during our submission of bid, and those we can take more names, have more negotiations with such contractors and subcontractors, vendors, some vendors, and we can continue with that. There's no restrictions at all. And then submission of proposed key personnel to engineer, already done this, we discussed. Consultants for approval are already done. Mobilization plan submission, we have done mobilization plan. Site surveys are, of course, mobilization one. Site survey must be going on. Site survey means you have to start where site is, where point locations are, what's the fence area, what is that area, all that we do. And site soil investigation, yes, that's also important. All investigation must be done on site, and the laboratory must be there, a full laboratory or recorded laboratory, registered laboratory should come to site, investigate site adjacent as per direction of engineer or engineer there, and we will check the investigation report for possible design, the validation of soil investigation report, and provision of all site offices. We have to already with the mobilization plan, and then provision of all facilities. We have to check that. We have to see what facilities can be done. The site fencing, we have done site fencing, site watch, and what the guards we have to place there on every gate. And site fire prevention, you have to fire prevention means you have to carbon dioxide cylinders, or the cylinders, for the cylinders, you have to put there, whatever you can do temporarily, you must make for this fire prevention. And labor shelters, labor short accommodation of labor, and labor camp use all the transportation, food and medical provisions means transportation from this camp. If camp is located far, it's a 3-4 kilometer, you have to use bus. If just 1 kilometer, we can, with no need of bus, we can just come walking 15 minutes walk or 10 minutes walk. It's not a big deal. Then medical provisions, we have to make first safety, first aid management, and all the way. Safety provisions, of course, safety provisions shall be made, but still assigned to ground level, it's not a big issue. But we have to make submission of safety plan, we have to make safety plan, submission of quality plan, we have to make submission of quality plan. Discussed with you already. Submission of project management plan, of course, we have to discuss. We have discussed with the various submission methods or procedures with engineer consultants. So we have crossed way of how contractors shall conduct, behave on project immediately after getting this order from engineers. Now we will go to communication, which is very dynamic activity. Communication is not ordinary communication, it is comprehensive communication, professional communication, legal communication, admissible in court communication, interactive communication, technical communication, contract communication, administrative communication, all that are done on site, and this is what is profession requires. Communication channels or processes, involvement by all relevant parties. Processes shall be effected regularly. Now, what is written is following processes shall be effected regularly during execution at defined activities, interval for initiation as well as for update and for revalidation. This is page 22 of 31. I think one more maybe. I think one more video way to make it. Records of all living service. Oh my God, it's 1 hour more. It's just some water for 5 seconds. Records of all life services drawings. Records of all life services drawings from statutory or local bodies, and review and diversion procedure of all such services. Once again, records of all life services drawings from statutory or local bodies, and review and diversion procedures of all such services. Dissemination of project scope to all relevant personnel and vendors. Correspondences, site memos, site instructions, engineer's instructions, electronic mails, phonic discussions confirmations, CV approvals, general meeting minutes, contractual meeting minutes, specialist meeting minutes, coordination meeting minutes, foreman meeting, technician meeting, video conferencing, video records, computer records, work photos, vendor submission and approvals, planning schedule, submissions and approvals regularly, organization chart, and plus job or role descriptions of various personnel, budgetary cost, engineering design deliverables, submissions, review and approvals, material submissions and approvals, drawings submissions and approvals, general formal reviews and approvals, technical queries, inspections approvals. I think that's the line. Drawing submissions and approvals, general formal reviews and approvals, inspections approvals, all documents in drawings approvals registers, technical queries, engineering queries, document center controls, working and shop drawing issues, all site issues, daily records of works, concrete records, cube records, formwork records, rebar records, structural steel records, all store records, laboratory and material testing management, engineering training records as method statements, staff personality development and team building and upgradations, progress management and monthly payment certificates or valuations, all quality management records and filing system, quality training records, all HSE training and execution records, all accident or injury records, safety drill records, toolbox stocks, start card, prevention from hazards, keeping site tidy, Safety incentive awards safety walks and best engineers and foreman awards, best workman awards, all changes on works, all red line markups, all as built records, all dossiers, all data sheets, all sealed documents, all involved certificates, all non-compliance records, all remedial actions records, punch list inspection and records, site walkthrough records, snags records and their implementation, defects records and rework requirement records, rework inspections, removal of major defects, lessons learned from mistakes, quality audits, reports from external source of from and from internal source. This is about communication I'm talking of. It's a detailed one, it's a head one, and it's not daily, it's every day, every hour you have to do, whenever it is required you to do. It's to be done. If you miss something, you'll miss your project management, you will miss your job, you'll miss your responsibility, because any lacuna, any fall in that can lead to disputes, and disputes can be resolved. If you are in record every issue, your director in your sequence with this combination is very important part, and this must be done by a senior person who knows and who understands contract is, what liabilities are. A site person who is on sites cannot concentrate on such work, and this is very concentrated work, very technical mind work, very occupied mind work, and it gives you the inputs you do for even for one communication. You have to work out a lot to search and documents, understand documents, and relate documents. Only then you can produce such thing. So communication very important part in project management. Even in PMP it says the communication out of it can consider factors. As we said that there's a scope, there's a cost, quality of time, and there's then procurement is one more, and then there's a communication. Without communication you cannot do good successfully. Communication very important. Writing communication, talking communication, speaking communication, conversations communications, meeting communications, face-to-face communication, group communication, then whatever type of communication you can say, disputing communication, argumentative communication, submission of technical engineering communication, non-technical communication, everything is involved in that. This is the project, and life is involved, society is involved. So you must have all understanding. No, I'm not saying you're an expert because you're like journalist or you're like a reporter. No, it's not like that. As a professional, you have to communicate in a real language, in a political language, polite language. I'm not saying political language, in a professional language. Point to point writing, point to point communication, that must be one. No need of writing essays, no need of repeating something. Talk to point so that other person should not be unnecessarily made busy by your communication. If you write so much, you will cause inconvenience to your partner on other side. Please don't do that. Understand, write all references to an extent possible, don't miss any references, and point to point references to clauses, and you write. Better write in half page than 4 pages, but write correctly. That is required, because this shall be a part of your evidence, maybe in arbitration or somewhere else, who knows. So be careful, be a professional, try to learn English or other language which is used in communication. So here is what happens, that we get documents from our boss or our other party one engineer. We have to go to departments, various departments which are dealing with services. For example, there could be sewer departments in municipality, there could be electrical department, there could be department dealing with water supply, there could be department dealing with civil defense. They people are also human beings. If they tell something is good, means something is good, right? You have to request them about existing services, which is most important. Some plots are clear, some are not clear. If plot is not clear, you may break some line. There will be electrical line, live electrical line, there will be water line, pressure line, there can be rainwater system, there can be CNG gas or whatever gas is, LPG gas, there can be any other services, big services there, telephone services there, or there is any whatever services there. You have to first find out those services where they are. There is a way to find out that. You ask them record drawings, they will see record drawings, and all record drawings, they will show the study record drawings, see where service exists. And if you think that this service required relocation, because they are coming in the clash with proposals, you have to write to them, relocate them, and they will permit you to relocate. It's this procedure. But you don't excavate without getting information, because if you throw electric line down, if you do something where industry is affected with, because your project may lie we working in industry area and your project services are getting in and are also provided to some factory or industry, and that will be affected. So you must have all drawings with you, record drawings, and ensure that no service like that. Then you can ask contractor that we want to do this, please issue a check that this drawing is ours and that is yours. Then we have to go to, if you think that there is some clash, we cannot work on that. We have to divert that line with due permission. I got the due method. We have to make method statement of that we are going to divert this line, and this is the only way. There's no other way. These guys from engineer will come, or the statutory body of the person will come, will inspect inside, will see what you are doing is right, or not right. Will advise you not do this way, do that way, and you have to comply with that. You do complete statement, give it to an engineer for approval, give it to that department for approval. They will sanction it and do it, or they will say we will do ourselves. You pay the money, and that provision must be there in the contract. You can raise claim. If he's not supposed to, you do not know about that. If you knew about it, it's your responsibility. So that man can do it all around, or they can ask you to do this. Depends on that. Is that important? That must be immediate. You don't waste time on that. You cannot take 6 months for that. If there's any interconnection of electric line, there's interconnection of water pressure line or something else, this is to be done immediately within defined time, or else you're all action affected, you're all exhibition affected. You cannot exhibit using machine, because machine exhibition means correct that. If you are need some, you don't want to divert that line, you just need some exhibition should be done hand, manual exhibition only. Otherwise, you cannot use machine in that area. This is called confined area work. So this is what is very important. Means there can be a living plant, there can be a working plant, there can be a working industry, and if you can be there, they say we don't allow change of the storage. You have to divert, you have to replan. Either you plan your work or you do work according to this, and it's your responsibility as a conductor that the line should work smoothly. So when you want to do construction or design, you cannot break this line, you cannot stop our service, you cannot stop our plan, and there's a big liability on that. So this is what recording is required for. Then same thing applies to dissemination of project scope to all relevant personnel. You have any personnel in the company or dealing with different managers, procurement managers, safety managers, quality managers, all managers, accounts managers. They must know what you are going to do, what's the scope, how many days it will take, what's the scope. I'm not saying that they should know everything, but they should know at least those disciplines relevant to them. Then correspondences. Yes, I explained this organization. General correspondence is memos, memorandums, which engineers resident writes to you, or you write to them. Then there are side instructions, which are not legal, but they issue from time to time. You do this, or you do that. You are doing this, you don't do that. You means they give you instruction every day or every from time to time. In instructions, something coming in like that. You have to comply with that side instruction. Side instruction doesn't constitute any cost escalation. Just keep in mind, side instruction just the normal instruction, just like memo is later. Just like side instruction, the instruction give an engineer, engineer to you to see that some misconfusion is there. They want to clear confusion. You have to do this work. Also, you have to make sure that this work is a part of the subject, scope of contract. If this is a part of scope contract, you are not liable to that, and you have to write to them because this constitutes cost. So the first we will apply for variation. You accept the variation. If engineer says yes, we accept variation, you continue. Otherwise, you stop that. That's called engineer system coming in. If this resident says no, you have to do it, then they will issue engineer's instruction on that according to cost involvement. They will define that cost. They say yeah, engineer instruction that will become a legal document to claim. That's what is required. Then electronic mails. Nowadays, electronic mails are used, means no need to go and give hard copy to the office every day before you can send hard copy later, no problem. But immediately send a mail, this will confirm this and this. They immediately will confirm if they are available, and they say, okay, you go ahead or don't go ahead. Means mail is direct service from each and every. You have to write this email in references. And phonic discussion, yes, in phonic discussion also confirmation to be made on that discussion. We X and Y talked and they reached to the subject on this and they agreed that will happen. Please confirm this. They can write to CV approval. Of course, CV approvals we have to do the general meeting minutes. Yes, general meetings we have to do, contextual meeting we have to do. Especially we discussed yesterday about this when general meetings, everything should be recorded in the project, and contextual meeting we have to do it in this is called contextual meetings, official meeting, formal meeting, we have to contact the monthly or fortnightly or maybe weekly. You have to do it. You have to project every information on that, what activity was met, what about this project, and what's the progress on that, and what's the status of material submittal, what's the status of drawing submittal, what's the status of this submittal, that submittal, what's the status of this project, what's the your time to schedule submission, what's the status of what's the level 1 submission, level 2 submission, level 3 submission, etc. And same thing applies to materials, and same thing applies to this, and what the subcontractors and contractors and vendors and vendors and all that, and what is the status on your own staff and their staff and how they are working, how quality is going on, how safety is going on. Every chapter is according to that. In that means called a meeting, and about specialist coordinates. If meetings are special meetings are similarly, and coordination meetings as technical meetings are conducted by vendors itself, by you can say a subcontractor, prime contractor itself. He has to ensure that technicalities among all disciplines and civil works are all in same line, and they don't clash with each other. This is what is conducted in technical and coordination meeting, which is very significant detailed meeting. And when chair is done by chairmanship is done by contractor, a contractor makes sure that all technical, electrical, mechanical, civil, electronics, and all that they work together. They do together without any clashes, and civil works go accordingly. That's why it's a technical coordination meeting. It's a very high-profile meeting, and which we come to detailed consultation, not simply talking, and then special meetings and technical meetings, and then foreman meeting. We are coming to point now. Yesterday we were here at coordination technical meeting. Foreman meeting. What's foreman meeting? Foreman. I'm talking of foreman, not foreman. Foreman. Those who are line managers. Generally, in our society, professional society, in civil and all, we don't get a foreman. But we forget the foreman itself means lead man, who is ahead of us, who is leading workers with him on site or where in workshop or in factories, and that man leads those people because we cannot lead them. We have no such capacity as engineers, no such time, and we don't have that guts that we can lead those class of people. Foreman actually apprises from workers, lowest class workers. They know everything about their activities, and they can teach and train those workers who do no job. And sometimes, to be very frank, they can teach us also indirectly, and we learn from them. Because we are not born foremen, we are educated, you can say educated white collar, or you can say educated blue collar we are, or any other color is there, we are that color. We cannot do what they can do. They can do according to their experience, but we don't have experience. We are educated class, top class we call ourselves, but we cannot do work of your class, because that foreman can do a lot for you, but you cannot do something for him. You can only talk to him in a way, and that foreman needs a talk, because that foreman doesn't need actually you need talk. Why you call meeting foreman? You call meeting of foreman from time to time, either directly to you as a project manager or to your site engineer or someone else. That foreman must be kept updated of what is happening behind scenes. That foreman must know from time to time what changes are being made on designs, what changes are coming in, and what we are going to do. You know, for example, there is some changes in design, or there are some changes on whatever else, and that foreman might have done something on that element. That foreman must know that this has been changed. For that meeting is required. Every day required, every 2 days required, 3 days required, every week is required. It is a must not only with one foreman, with all foremen, electrical foreman, mechanical foreman, civil foreman, and all must know that there is some change going on, and that is the reason this building has been stopped. That meeting is very important. I'm not saying that you meet and talk in length. Meet. There's another meeting is regarding safety and quality. See, ultimately, in line management on front, who is working? Foreman is working, workers are working, and we are just guiding them, we are supervising them, and we supervise them. But it is also a fact that engineer cannot 8 hours or 10 hours stay with foreman on site. It's not practically possible. Because to do work on site is foreman job, your job as well. But you cannot do on site all 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours. You have many other activities also to do. Paperwork you have to do, study of contract you have to do, specifications understanding you have to do, drawing work you have to do, and you have to make also sometimes. You have submission also you have to make. So we cannot entirely depend upon foreman to an extent contract issues are concerned. Yes, we can rely upon that foreman for contract design. Yes, this is a contract and this is duty. You have to do it. You have to give description to him, either in writing or verbatim every day, that you have to do this and this and this. And that is called meeting, and that further transfers to workers below. Specific meetings are required for safety and for for quality, because foremen and workers have specific relations. These workers comfortably work under foremen without any hesitation. But what happens? Tools are an issue. There are many tools like grinders and like other electrical which can cause accidents to these workers. These workers must be trained by foremen, because these foremen know their language and they know his language. That what foremen do on site, what is duty of foreman involving on site. This is duty of foreman involving on site. That he can teach our workers to come up to this level, that you must know. Safety, this is part of safety, that you have to use proper grinder, you have to use proper equipment. Otherwise, you will have an accident, you will drop from roof, or you will happen that. For that, meetings with foremen are considered in safety and health sector. In health sector, it is, you can say, a majority. All right. You call meetings, talk to them about equipments, talk to them about tools, talk to them how they want to protect workers, talk to them how workers should stay, talk to them what are PPs, why PPs are on, talk to them how people can be saved from falling from external peripheries. They don't want to call falling, they want to just check. If foreman knows, first you have to teach foreman. You have to teach foreman. You have to call all foremen to your office. Civil foreman, electrical foreman, mechanical foreman, or foreman. Tell them what you have to do in each activity. Activity wise, you have to tell them. Tool wise, you have to tell them. You can say safety wise, you have to tell them. And policy wise, you have to tell them. Then you have to tell them about how you got this much instruction in 1 day or in 2 days. This is what is required here. Then we go to safety and quality. I have just told safety. Though there is safety staff separately available on project, but safety staff also is not proactive as we should do. We should have. They think they have only to check. There's a difference of understanding. What safety people think, they just go to site to see. Otherwise, complain to an engineer or manager. You are not doing this. You are not doing it. No, that is not safety job. They have a job that they should take care of site also. If you give 2-3 persons to them, they should comply with that. They should comply. But they think that they are going to advise. Anyway, something else. Then we come to quality. Every item is done in a quality standard, in a method statement work, and every foreman must know. Then means every engineer has to tell foreman who can explain in sound language to workers how you have to work to achieve this quality. And that's very significant method here, significant direction that should be done. So every activity that is to be followed on site in form of work must be explained clearly to our foremen who understand that activity, and that foreman must be told that we are following ISO 9000 procedure, and this procedure requires this formality and that formality, that check and this check, this test and that test. So he should not be in panic every time when we ask for something or it takes some time. Of course, they want to do they want to play with concrete or something else which is very hot, but that must be taken care of by here. Once you build trust your foreman listen to you. It's your duty to train your foreman, and that's foreman duty to train workers. So we should, though we are educated people, we may not understand, but fact remains that if something happens, you will be responsible and foreman will be responsible. There will be no one else. Your manager will not be responsible. Your corporate member will not be responsible. Your MD will not be responsible. Responsibility goes to foreman and well as site engineers. Well, I'm not feeling bored. Maybe you are feeling bored, but I have to finish this something. To at least tomorrow I like to finish that. Now I'm saying is that foreman meeting is over. Means foreman meeting is specifically for technicalities. Means there are maybe 50, 60 activities in every discipline, and they must know what to do. They should not just close work without even inspection and without even knowing what to do. They should be, engineer should be, engineers from government should be confident that this foreman is fine, and foreman is considered a good designation, not a bad designation. So, technician meetings. Yes, technician meetings. Technician means there may be technician site for taking care of vehicles, taking care of others, taking care of cars, mechanics, and all that, and sometimes taking care of site tools. Also, site tools, there's hundreds of site tools on every site. That taken care, the care must be taken by that foreman who is responsible for that. But he has no one taking that value, no one taking that work with themselves. Now, You go to technicians issue means there will be many technicians who are dealing with machines, who are dealing with vehicles, who are dealing with other issues. They must be called to explain that no equipment should die idle, no equipment is safe, and you say all vehicles is parked on the and during this break, you can say during your meetings, some lapses there which must be corrected. If foreman and engineer work together on some site, taking along with them this stupid labor, they can be called very good engineers without engineer. And this foreman is called very well foreman without engineer. Then video conferencing, video records. There are some projects which are located distant and management doesn't stay there. Video conferencing is a facility nowadays. It can be done, it can be managed, if you can afford, recording can be saved, and this can be done even once a week or twice a week, even from 2000 kilometers here, and it helps uh, who is working on the. You cannot depend upon CCTV, but on video recording of your task, you can at least do complete video. Hmm. Then we come to video conferencing and video records. Then it's computer records. Computer records, no? Computer records, we say there are so many computers on site and offices, and it will be intralinked and recorded. This is a general option for contractor to do for safety, upkeep, and savings of recording and management. And then what photos are taken for whatever progress is there and also recorded. Then vendor submissions and approvals. We have to submit just like we submit our CVs. Vendor collection is submitted for approval purpose. Each and every vendor, sub-vendor. Then planning is schedule submissions, or there's a time schedule, planning is schedule. Planning is a department, a section of our work, and planning is very important because planning shall direct us how to proceed on project, and that planning must be correctly done. And a professional planning engineer must take care of that. Otherwise, we miss something. Planning is a big job. For a big job, it's a big job. There are many levels of planning done in Primavera in MS project office, and that shall be done in combination, in consultation with site engineers or project engineers or project manager. Planner cannot do on its own. He is expert on planning software, but he must get feedback from those engineers and foremen who will do directly on site, and those planning engineers who do themselves whatever they want, that plan always collapse because there is no contribution from others. Site engineer wants plan his way, project engineer wants his way, manager wants his way, but a collaboration misses. The collaboration must be there to stick to certain defined lines, defined limit, and that is required here. So planning, schedule, submission, and approval, and approvals regularly. Approvals of not chart alone, approvals of this constitute of our resources approval, human resources approval, material approval, like that, and time schedule and staff approval. Organization chart has to be privileged from that. Organization chart varies from time to time, but it must be there. And job or role descriptions of various personnel. Job and role descriptions of various personnel plus budgetary cost. Job. This is in fact very, very significant activity. Job description. Whose job descriptions? Job descriptions from project head to foreman level. Because all such people, all such key personnel deal with all on site, deal with client, deal with engineer, deal with resident engineer, deal with site personnel, deal with site people in all the establishment, others establishment, coordination issues, all issues, extend issues. So job descriptions must be clearly defined to avoid clashes and to avoid misunderstanding among people. Engineer people must know what a project manager has to do, what a construction manager of contractor has to do, what a project site engineer has to do, what foreman has to do, and what storekeeper has to do, what others have to do, what planning engineer has to do. Means Designations are clear, even then, depending upon the scope of work, one should be clearly defined. It should not happen if you go to ask something from some project engineer says, "Oh, it's not my job, I'm not doing this." It's not like that. You have to explicitly write job descriptions of every key personnel, and that must be a part of project management document, or you can say project plan document, that this is a responsibility, and it must be circulated after project is started, and signatures must be taken whoever is that holding that designation. Designations are very not complicated issues, they are issue better, but this divides the responsibility among people as well. They cannot say it's my responsibility, it's your responsibility. It's clearly given, this is your direct responsibility and this person's indirect responsibility. You have to report to him, you both are responsible, but you are responsible for doing this, and this person is responsible to helping you how to do it. And he's your higher, so you have to listen to him also. It's like that. So job responsibility can be described everywhere for every position, but it takes time. We'll do this. It's already 2:50. I'll just speak now and later we do it because project manager's role is known to all, but there can be many other roles. There can be administrative roles, there can be financial roles, there can be technical roles, there can be dynamism roles, there can be higher management roles, because project manager deals with head office also, he does corporate office also, he deals with head office of engineer also, he does the resident also, he does the engineer also, he does the supervision controls also, he does his own controls also, he does his labor management also, he does the camp management also, he does many other internal problems, means he has to solve the staffing problem, he has to solve it everywhere, he has to respond to questions, to answers. So the project manager is very complicated position, very much higher position. Without that position, you cannot do anything. So we will deal just for that. The constructionist comes in, that the construction is responsible for something else exclusively, is responsible on site for site. 90%, 95% time for a construction is spent on time, and a project manager is spent on time, 80, 85% time spent in offices, following paperwork, following meeting work, following this work, that. So scrutinizing documents, taking documents from contractor, sorry, consultant, and working on that, and finding propositions and submissions of documents, all that. So both have different level of responsibility. Construction manager is more went for physical work on site, and they have more move here and there. So meet project managers frequently every day and evening, morning, and every meeting, and find solutions. They start thinking of problems, each and every problem, and do job. And then go to site engineer, or project engineer, site engineer, superintendent engineer, all that smaller people who are, they are also having thinking power. They are thinking, their thinking is too high, that is helping him, helping that. That thinking is required. That intelligence is required. Every document must be checked. Coordination with planners and with safety people and with quality people and administrative people must be made by both project manager and construction manager. This is requirement of a job. You cannot avoid that. So similarly, foreman, site engineer, everybody's job description must be placed. Otherwise, it is confusion. And even that man should know, engineer should know, right engineer should know that what are responsibilities of these people. All management people, your company should know. Everybody should know what you can do for them for project. Then we come to, after this, planning schedule is over. Then engineering, yes, in planning schedule we have written a schedule, submission, submitted a schedule, and approvals we have taken, and regularly, and organized chart we have submitted. We know this only chart and job role description. I have told you the brief of that, very personal of budgetary costs, budgetary cost. Yes, budgetary cost. What's the budgetary cost in engineering? We have a budget on every project, and no company or no organization can move blindly on budget. There are many projects, there are many heads, many departments, and everyone has some codes. I told you before also. These codes, one project have given this for against this activity, this is amount to be spent on, and that amount cannot be exceeded. If you exceed that amount, you exceed your cost and you reduce your profit. Your profit, whatever is calculated at submission of bid, is because of this sum. If you have spent this, means there is escalation in that case. You start getting deficit of your profit. This is very complicated, but time consuming activity. First of all, this should be immediate, not immediately calculated by using two or three papers and then by counting something, some expenses, and then say, okay, the budget is over. This is for whole duration of your that period of the security is covering in, say 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 1 year, or whole duration. You have to keep a watch that this amount doesn't exceed even if excavations, concrete, or mechanical activities, or electrical activities, or whatever activities they are. You have to ensure your planning and you have to ensure your manager has to ensure, project manager, your accountant has to make sure that this amount doesn't exceed. That is budget control. If it exceeds, why it exceeds? What's the reason of exceeding? Where was lapse during bidding stage? Why we made that lapse, and we have to correct it. How to correct? How to find it back? How to solve it? If there's even 0.0% escalation or 1% escalation, this impacts on your cost. Hundreds of items, 500 items, 600 items, the whole project materials, all should be on record. It's not a question of dispute. The question is money should not go to hell. If, okay, forget profit for the time being. Without profit, you cannot make losses. If you're not making profits, you're not making losses as well. It's fine, you're not making losses. But if you're making losses, it's difficult. If your acceptance of this budget is fine, it's only a limit of charge, it's fine. But if it limits to your work, it's not fine. We go to temple, we pray God, but here, no temple, no God. Here, you have to think as God and work out. You have to see why this is escalating. It may be escalating because of wastage of material, because of inefficiency of those people who are working around, or inefficiency of everything. So, where is inefficiency? We have to find that, and we have to correct that. We cannot allow an escalation without any reason. Yes, there could be error in quantities. Yes, I agree with that. We calculated something wrongly and there was erroneous in this 20% escalation of quantity itself. That is a question mark. That is seriousness. Why it happened? If there's data error or something error, how to now relate it? How to modify it? You have to think that. But that's not possible. You cannot modify quantities. Means you have to bear that loss and compensate somewhere else. If you make it somewhere else, it's fine. Otherwise, you are going to lose. And if you are going to lose, money lost is lost. Budget is useless. If so this happens to even 3-4 items on a project and you lose 10% losses, what purpose of this? If you are making 5 to 10% loss on you because of this inefficiency, because of this misinformation, or because of bad work calculated, what purpose this project serves? Because this project shall not give you more than 10% profit in any case. Then what is meaning of doing that project? No meaning at all. But you have to do it because it's question of commitment. They say commitment is more important. So this means budgetary control is a big exercise, not from engineering point of view, from every point of view. That activity should be corrected. Check and again and mark this critical activity because it's going to give you losses, and bring such person who can afford this at the same price which you thought of initially. If you can bring that person back, it's fine. Otherwise, your country is going to bear this loss and you will be imposed on taxes again. Just remember. Cost control people are there to control this. When you send acquisition on that item that I want this material more, they will not approve. But item is required. You cannot say no. If item is coming from side that I will need this material, they say no, there's no budget, you don't accept. How? You have to intermingle with them. But this has happened, what to do? Find solution. Only solution, try some ways, we can save money. That's the only solution, the solution. No company is going to give free material. They will charge for it. Yes, they can charge. On their own reduction, they can charge every. On your direction, they do whatever. Why do you allow that? That is what is required. So cost control is big exercise which you cannot miss. And then it comes engineering design, deliverable submissions, review and approvals. Engineering design. Cost control is a long exercise, whole budget exercise, and gradually you can control it by replacing some items and by saying we will replace this material in consultation with the client that okay we bring not it from if they cooperate with you, you can just make something at least out of loss, some make marginalize this loss. But then comes engineering, the design submissions because design is your part. You have to design that also. Maybe your part is 50% or 100% or 25%, other designers doing, and you are going to help your designer. But what happens then? Are we successful there as well? Many people are doing that. Many people are going to do that in engineering design. Many we have many home sections, home departments in every company. They are working with designs. We are outsiders also who ex you can say off you can say outsources also. They are doing design for some companies. Are they getting same benefits, same power, same potential? That's a part of contract. Design is a very big submission. You cannot say no. It takes time, it is reliable, it takes approval, it takes proofreading, it's everything. You cannot say no. And design cannot be cannot be taken easily. It's a question of money, it's a question of safety, it's a question of weather, it's a question of rain. You have to take precaution on all these. Only then it's going to be successful. You cannot do that. You have to do that. Question is not you can do, you cannot do that. Your contract, you have to do that. You hire someone or don't hire someone, it's up to you, but you have to hire someone because this is a question of design. If your design is not available, your project shall delay. You cannot do anything on site. You cannot do anything on site. So what to do then? Means design should be considered as a part of initial submission, like materials, and this must be given top priority, which is not given. That's the problem. Design is not one day job. It is 25% time of the 20% time of contract is based on such, and they are revised and vice versa. But I think it's better now because there are computers. You can do better design. Computer has got many inputs, and it shall help you do it. If you are able to that, you are a professional. You are a good person. If you are not able to do that, you will fail on that project because it is EPC. So, my dear, what I would suggest that we should move accordingly on designs, and design is project actually where you are. If you do not design, nothing will move. You have to think yourself. You have a strong design engineer, working drawing engineer, strong engineer. We have to sit together and work out and start project. Otherwise, it shall give us problem everywhere. And project is project. No way. If you signed, you do it. You have to maintain status of your country and status of your capability. If I am talking in Bharat, I have good design issue. I have very good engineers. I will thank that engineer and that company. If your engineers I dislike ventilator, that ventilator, then we cannot do this. We will get dust. We will get this. We will get sunlight and heat, and we will be impacted upon. So it is better, understandable, clear that we have to be careful. As in, first of all, let me tell you one thing: engineer is not supposed to sleep sound. If you sleep sound, you have to weep. Believe me, no engineer on sites in designs can sleep well. This is problem in engineering, particularly in civil engineering. Tension develops automatically because you are taking work from different people. You are not working on your own except in designs. On sites, on projects, you are working with many people who don't want to work, who have no commitment, no destination. They just want to live, survive. If you have got such people, it is hell. If you have got good people, even two or three, you are lucky. You will move further and further and further. That's what's happening. So we have to be very careful. It's better to work with your home. You spend 4 hours daily, 3 hours daily. You work on your holidays, you work on vacations. You do yourself as much as possible than depending upon others because others would cause problems to you. And if others are cooperative, they understand you, then you will be lucky, shall be lucky to be fast. I will close this video here because still too much is left to discuss of project management. and we'll take the next video next time, whenever, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, no when, maybe tomorrow, I can't say, that we will continue with this further talk, because until I am clear about what I'm talking to you, I don't feel happy. It may take some time, I know. It shall take some time, because this is professional issue. This is not election issue, or this is not the gossiping issue. We are talking very serious issue. Because one man change on site, one good man comes, he changes others. If one bad man comes, if one time spoiler comes, he spoils time of all team. We have to think that way. If I have one good person, or if I myself am good, I can control myself at least, if I can control you. And when I control myself, of course, certainly the others will come, because I controlled. So I am just now giving again this. Tomorrow I'll be here talking to you about project and management, about some more issues, because that is very, very important. And I would take your leave now. Thank you very much, dear friends. And namaskar, goodbye, bye bye. Okay.